Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. Holy cow. Welcome to the game. The Great American Experience happens once again. I'm the Wizard of Oz, and this is not my show. So all you got to do is grab a link, come on up, and participate. And this is your show. What's up, Battery? What's up, Zoom? How's it going? Oh, oh yeah. Cool, cool. What's up, saying? Yeah, we got a strike on the game on YouTube. It says misinformation. That's all it says. It was on Sunday. Yeah, they blocked us. It says first strike, but they're not going to release it till January 18th. What the fuck is that? I'm not sure. So it's Sunday. I'm not sure. What's up, Oddball? How's it going? Yeah, we're blocked on the game YouTube channel. So we're on Canoes and Sick Pat and the game on Twitch. I can't remember either. Oh yeah, that the night we talked cars. Not sure. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Let me see here. Um, Election misinformation policies, COVID-19 medical information policy, vaccine misinformation policy. I was going through some of this stuff. And I suck my dick. Harmful remedies and cures. Manipulated content and that's attributed content. Oh, this is just a list of shit. They didn't tell us what we actually did, except for misinformation. Uh, you know, yeah, they're not gonna tell us what we did. Assholes. Expires January 18th. What the hell is that? This is his first strike. There's misinformation. I don't even know what that's all about. Okay. All right. So just no details, just misinformation somehow. What a bunch of pricks. All right. Hey, come on up here and let's do some misinformation. Come on, Sing. Come on up here. Hey, Shimmer. Welcome in. Oh, man. I got to sit forward so you guys can see me. Ooh, yeah. There we are. Aaron the Tires. Grab a link. Come on up. We're celebrating the strike. We got another strike on the game YouTube channel. Um, yeah, I don't know what the hell we did. Aaron, I saw you in the back room, but it said no devices were connected. Oh, man. That's crazy. Yeah, mass information. That's a good one, Zach. Yeah, they're man, blind. This is just crazy, stupid shit. All right, authorize the camera there, Aaron. It keeps coming in and it's not letting him go up for whatever reason. Now saying, I don't think that matters anymore. They don't give a shit. And why just that channel? What the hell? That's okay. Those crazy bastards. But the we just pulled up on Canusa's channel. So let me see here. I'm trying to figure out where. I know I have a link here for Canusa's channel somewhere. I guess I don't. Huh. Yeah, I have no idea. That's crazy. No, Aaron was trying to come up, but it's not letting him use his camera or his mic or something. Hey, Nightingale, how you doing? Yeah, yeah. I tell you what, it's all stupid from here on out. Yeah, it's craziness. Sorry, I'm just going through some stuff here while we're waiting for people to come up. All right. Oh well, no, nothing there. I'm still looking for the see if I can nail down what the hell we did. I guess I'll have to review it or something. Let's see here. No, 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 no. Okay. Well, doggone it. Hey, there's Huckleberry. Hers isn't either. Right? Hey, come on up here. Talk to me. I do so much better when there's somebody to talk to. Yeah. Yep. Yep. They gave us a strike on the YouTube channel for the game. So we're using Canoes' channel tonight. And Sick Pat, of course. Hey, Huckleberry, we're gonna need the link. Hey, Battery, bring the link up. Post the link. They said misinformation. That's all they said. Yep. Oh, thanks, Zoom. Yeah, we got a few more to go through before we abuse anything else. But yeah, it's all good. Anxiety. Hey, what's going on, dude? Yeah, we're kicking ass and taking names. How you been, man? Last time I seen you go live was lightning strike. You were asking if you were still alive. John Sua, welcome in. What's up? Yep. Yeah, no, it's just going crazy. Man. So same old stupid shit in the news. Nothing really worth talking about. Biden now has 53% disapproval. Oh, hey, Shane, what's up, brother?
Hey, man. Luckily, Pat's is still alive. I've got to come through YouTube to be able to get on StreamYard.
Right. Do you have the link for Canoes' channel?
I don't, but Canoes put it in the Twitch.
Oh, did he?
He dropped it in Twitch, yeah, before I left.
Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. I'll have to go over there and grab it. I thought I had it, but oops, hold on. All right.
Hi, Nightingale. Hey, Oddball. Yeah, when I came back, God, probably, what was it, a year and a half ago, I came back into chats and I bet you I had 60 people I was sub to. And I came back and I had 2. Same account. I just reopened it, and for some odd reason, I had none of my subs of the people I was sub to.
Right.
I don't know how they do that they wipe my sub list.
Yeah, it says I wasn't even subscribed.
Yep, that's what they've done to me. Hey, Carp.
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Let's go, Brandon.
Well, that's okay. These stupid bastards.
Some guy did a rap song to that Let's Go, Brandon. And I guess it hit the top spot on iTunes downloads.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, there's chanting going on at everything. It's even happening at concerts. It's happening at football games, basketball games, baseball games, NASCAR. The NASCAR feds started it, and now it's even happening at concerts. They're shutting concerts
Oh my
and
God, that's funny shit, dude.
chanting it, and and with all this stuff going on, I mean that rap song they made and it hit the top spot on the iTunes downloads. People do not like this guy. That's what when they're saying that his approval rate's down to like 38%, that tells me it's like 9. It's probably 9%
Or in
because
at least the teens. Yeah.
that stuff is always so skewed in favor of the left.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's way above what it actually is.
Hey, Dev, welcome in. I seen you in there.
Rice and Gray. Huck said, or Battery said, Rice and Gray. Okay, Huckleberry and Battery and Devra too have the same color, so they keep blending in.
Right. Dev.
Hi, Dev.
I should change my first name to Brandon.
What the phrase? I mean,
Yeah, Joshua. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe they striked out the game channel for misinformation. I'm like trying to figure out what the hell we said.
Huckleberry. I don't have a channel yet. I'm hoping to do some streaming this winter because it's supposed to be a bad winter, so I probably won't have a lot going on. I'll probably come here in the evenings, but I'll do some of my own during the day, maybe.
Hey, Miriam, welcome in.
Hey, Carp. Again, I already said hey. Never mind. I'm repeating myself.
Right? I can see you. Everything.
Yeah, you stick out. Yours is like a purple or a dark blue on mine.
And Huckleberry's in. We're jamming.
Huckleberry, Battery, and Devra, you're all like a bluish green on mine.
Like a teal.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So what'd you do today, dude?
I was closing down the garden, pulling the hoses, cleaning up all the planter pots and dumping them back in the garden, getting closing down the garden and
Nice.
the growing stuff. I'm still pulling okra and green beans and peppers, but everything else is dead.
I don't think I got anything out there. I dug potatoes at the beginning of the week, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the last thing I did. Or that was, I guess, at the end of last week, I dug potatoes, and that was the last thing I had out there. My pumpkins never took off this year. They sprawled out, got a couple little quarter-sized pumpkins on it, and they died.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that
but
sucks.
they're also right next. They're right on the property line, and I think my neighbor was spraying for dandelions, and I think it missed it
Oh,
across into that edge of my garden and killed everything over there because it got my watermelon, it got my cantaloupe, and my pumpkins all on that side died.
oh shit.
Yeah. Sometimes the neighbors decide to spray that stuff in the wind, and it does not work out for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be like 3 feet away from them at
Yeah.
least, you know,
Well,
because you know they're spraying Roundup out there or some shit.
yep. Some nasty stuff, I guarantee it.
Right. They don't give a shit as long as their grass is green.
Yep. Yep. We have to. Battery. We'll get a ticket for dandelions in the yard here. True story.
What?
I don't. Yep. Swear to God. We'll get a ticket if they seed out and they blow. You can get a ticket here for dandelions.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And dandelions are like the healthiest. They're like in your yard. They're probably one of the healthiest things. There's medicinal value, protein value, vitamin value.
Right. Can't
Yep.
have anything growing in the yard.
Yep. It's got to be. Well, even my garden, I couldn't like randomly plant anything. It's got to be kind of in a designated garden. Welcome to Colorado. Things are very, very controlled here right now. Even the little towns are starting to get forced into following the Front Range's little
Well, that's
laws.
what happened. Even here, things are kind of stupid in the city of whatever. No matter, doesn't matter. If you're living in the city, it doesn't
Yep.
matter if you're not in the middle of the fucking country and you're in city of, yeah, that's bullshit.
Our biggest problem right now is all the people from the Front Range are selling their houses to California and New York people for massive amounts, and then they're coming out here in these towns and buying for massive amounts. And then they get on the board, like within a few months, they all get on the board and they change it. In the last 5 years, they've completely changed the laws and regulations in this little town. And they want to be a little tiny Denver or a little tiny Boulder or something, you know. And yeah. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to move out to the country.
Right. Where the only thing you had to report to is a county.
Yeah. And there they have restrictions. I've honestly considered moving across the border into Nebraska or even into the corner of Wyoming.
Oh yeah.
Yep. It's just for one thing for water wells, because up there you can own an acre up there and drill in, especially in Nebraska, in the county just north of me, you can own an acre and drill a well for water.
Oh really?
Yep. And as all you do is go in and file the paperwork and pay a $25 fee to have it processed so they can have a record of the well.
Right.
And then pay the company to drill it. You got to pay a professional. You can't drill it yourself. You got to pay a professional company to drill it so they can do all the regulatory parts of that and everything. But yep, there's no 40 acres, 45 acres or whatever that you have to have. You can have an acre and do a regular well. When I called up their water district, I was asking him, I was like, so how many acres do I have to get a well? And he's like, what? I was like, well, here in Colorado, I have to have 35 acres to even be able to water an acre. He's like, man, you can have an acre and put in a well and water an acre. He was confused. He's like, I don't know what you're getting at. He's like, is that real in Colorado? I was like, oh yeah, it's legit.
God,
I
yeah.
don't know if I want to be,
But if you
what's
got,
that?
it's pretty much the same here. But if you got more than 40 acres, you don't even need a permit.
See, and that's nice. Here, even if you've got 1,000 acres, you still got to apply for a permit. And the funny thing is, those permits here, they can take up to a year to process.
Oh wow.
Yep. And if they don't get it done in that year, you've got to refile. And it's on you. Cost, everything. Wyoming is pretty free, but Wyoming also gets fooled a lot by their congressional and their senatorial candidates. There's several rhinos they've got there. And there's a lot of the old school non-Trump Republicans. I mean, for the most part, they went like 70% for Trump. But that 30%, a lot of those weren't really Democrats. They were the old school Republicans.
Right.
I know a lot. Well, I'm right by them, so I know a lot of people from Wyoming. And the area I'd moved to, they're hardcore Trump. You see Trump, you see American flags, and right under that, you'll see a Trump flag. So,
All right.
yeah. So, I mean, where the area I would move to is they're hardcore Trump fans. And you probably don't want to say anything derogatory. Even if there's one little thing you don't agree with, don't say it. You'll be there for an hour getting told or getting corrected.
Right. Come on up, grab a link, guys. Come on up, join the conversation.
Yeah, because I can't stay long tonight anyways. Got to be up early again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm trying to finish up a lot of my stuff before any bad weather hits, and then but plus my first part-time job that I took just to kind of fill in some hours. It's been monopolizing a lot of my time because a lot of people are pouring cement right now trying to beat the weather. So they're slammed and they can't find any CDL drivers. So to help them out, which I hopefully comes back to my benefit, and hopefully I get a break on cement when I start pouring for myself.
Right.
Because I've been giving them a lot of pulling all-nighter. I did that, and I swear to you, I did not. That morning, there was a morning I had to wake up at 4, I had to be there at 5, and I don't remember anything except from 9 o'clock on. I don't think I woke up till 9 o'clock, even though I was there working. I don't think I legitimately woke up till about 9 o'clock.
Oh, shit.
But that was when I shouldn't say an all-nighter because I finally couldn't stay up anymore, and I dozed off about 2 o'clock, and I probably would have been better off staying awake.
Oh, right.
It's
Yeah,
most
likely.
one of those things that feels like you blink and your alarm's going off.
Yeah. Thank you for firing the boat.
Hey, Diesel.
What's up? Hey, Diesel.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. A lot of those times on I do better on 5 or 6 hours of sleep than I do off of 8, because on 8 I wake up, I'm groggy, I have a tough time getting going, I just want to keep sleeping. But my doctors are now telling me that I need to get 8 hours because apparently 5 to 6 hours causes high cholesterol and all that, and my cholesterol levels were apparently not ideal. So
Yeah, like they know.
yeah. they took enough vials of blood a couple months ago, I'll tell you that much. Shit, they could have made another me.
Cloning material.
Yeah. Shit, there might be another. I've always said that it'd be nice to have another one or two of me to go out there and just work for me. Then I could put them in a closet, and then
Right, guys, just take the day off.
Yep. They'd probably have to be more robots though, because that way I wouldn't have to feed them. I'd just charge them and then leave them until I needed them.
Right. Oh, cyborgs.
Hey, Apex is sober enough to type tonight. He's not stoned and sideways.
Yeah,
Nightingale, right?
right.
We
Small
haven't
arm.
seen Apex for a while, so I had to give him guff.
Get your ass up here, Apex. Come on. Hit the button. Gateway to the fridge. Right, Miriam? Oh, man. Wow. Well, like I said, things are going to get more stupid.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I'm telling everybody, I'm like, we're gonna see a couple months. I bet it could be 3 to 6 months. I don't know, but prices are gonna skyrocket on a lot of things. Luckily, rural areas, since we don't have that mass consumption, we're not gonna get hit with it as badly. But big
Right.
cities are gonna get nailed with empty shelves, price gouging, and a lot of this is production and everything. And I really do believe a lot of it is just like I told everybody it was going to happen with lumber. Our prices of lumber right now, even though they came back down, they are still 10 to 20% above what they were prior to
Oh,
the,
wow.
the price hike. And they're going to do it with the rest of this stuff. That way, with that price hike, if there's this big boom skyrocket, prices skyrocket, well, if they bring it back down, everybody will be happy to pay just 10 to 20% more. Whereas if they just raised it 10 to 20%, everybody's going to be mad and buy less.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I really do think, I'm not saying all of it, but I think a lot of it's a tactic by these corporations to be able to up their prices and get more profit.
Yeah, they keep stealing our wealth. You're damn right, Carpenter.
Oh, this year already has been the largest wealth transfer in world history. I mean, the pandemic mainly. I think it's a bubble. I really do think it's a bubble. I think people that are going to buy at high prices now are never going to make up for it when it bursts if they don't get some type of control over it. Except
Right.
I'm from Colorado, so it's going completely insane here. And to show you the insanity, I legitimately bought this house for $14,500. The 2 lots and all that. At the time, the 2 lots were worth $20,000, and I got it. Came in. It was a modular, needed work. The guy just wanted to get rid of it. I paid that. I put another 20 into it, so that's $34,500. Right now, just the 2 lots are valued at more than that. They're valued at $20,000 a piece, so that's $40,000. That just the lots are valued at now. In 5 years, with the house on it, I could easily get 150 grand if I wanted to.
Oh, wow.
There's a house next to me. Well, 2 houses down. It's a little brown and white house, about 1,200 square feet. They paid 100. They paid 165,000 for it. Now, mind you, we're a town of 500 people. Actually, 498 this year because 2 passed away.
Oh, wow.
So this is a tiny town. Prices should not be that high. When I moved here, that house, the lady had bought it for $45,000. In 5 years, she sold it for $165,000, and she did nothing to it. It's just people in the Front Range are selling their houses to East Coast and West Coast people for $1 million, something that they paid $400,000 or $500,000 for. They're selling it for $1 million or just under, and then they're moving out here and bidding up the prices. The funny thing is, almost every house that goes onto the market does not sell for that market price. It sells for higher because they get into bidding wars because they're all trying to find property out in these little areas so bad. Take care, Canoe.
All right,
But
Canoes.
I've heard a lot of that was in response to the one guy. It was the anxiety about if we thought it was a bubble. I really do think it's a bubble. I don't think these
Well,
prices are going to be sustainable.
no, because right now, everybody's bragging like, God, my property's worth this, my property's worth that. And I was just at a graduation this spring, and this girl was talking about it there, how much money they'd made on their house in the cities.
Yeah.
Right.
And I said, yeah, well, and that was some ungodly 70, 80, 90,000 in a short amount of time, 100,000 in like 2 years. And I said, well, that's all well and good. I said, but the problem is when you go to replace it.
Right.
I said,
Well,
you really
Hammer?
haven't made any. I said, you haven't made anything. I said, people got to start looking at these price raises and these profits that we supposedly get, but really don't get. Like your house is worth more, only the next house you buy is worth that much more too. So you don't gain nothing.
Right.
You got to look at it. These fuckers are stealing our wealth. They're raping us right down to the last dollar.
Right.
You know what, Hammer,
And
my buddy Hammer, he's
Yeah.
been on the show a few times. He's selling his house. He's back in the neighborhood back where I had my big house. And he's selling it for like three times what he paid for it originally. And he bought himself a fifth wheel camper. he bought a pull behind camper trailer for an alternate place. And he's planning on tiny home in it.
Yeah, people, that's the thing to do right now is get the hell out of debt. Right now, if you can stay out of debt, like Singh said with that bubble, right now, don't go in debt. Wait till this bubble bursts and then start making your purchases. But wait till this thing blows first. They can't. This can't go on. If it goes on any further, it's going to be like Venezuela, and our money's going to be worth nothing.
exactly.
Which that might be what they're doing too. I don't know. But really, when it blows up like this is the time to kind of sit and be a little cautious and watch what you're doing, because wait a little while, because of that bubble burst, you might be able to slip in and get these people on some quick sells. And you can get some pretty good properties on some quick sells. Like back in 2008, if you weren't carrying any debt and you had a couple dollars in the bank and you didn't have any loans out, when that housing crisis happened, there were some people picked up some really nice houses for some pretty reasonable prices after that.
Yeah, they were foreclosing on everybody. Whole street loads of houses were being foreclosed on.
Yep.
I was one of them that got foreclosed on when it did that.
Oh, sure.
We won the lawsuit against Chase because actually a lot of us had unemployment insurance. It was when they shut down the rigs, and a lot of us had unemployment insurance, and Chase still foreclosed on everything because we were laid off. We weren't fired. But Colorado laws are different than New Hampshire laws, where their corporate office is, and they're going by New Hampshire laws. Colorado laws are different. A layoff is a termination of the job or the income. So they got sued in that little tiny town, it's not as tiny as this, but with the town I lived in at that time, out of the 2,000 people that lived there, probably 400 of those people were on the rigs and lost their jobs when that happened.
Wow.
It destroyed that town for quite a while. But you're talking about not buying. I agree. Do not get a loan. I own this outright. The only reason I potentially would sell, and I'm thinking about it, is if I got land and would build myself. I'd get land, get a camper, live on the camper while I built, and then build myself. But only if I could find the land reasonable. And if I could get it in writing that as soon as this got sold, I would have that land for that price. And that's another thing to be careful of. If you do something like that, get it in writing, because people are, if it takes a couple of weeks for something to close and then you go back there, well, people are moving in, they find out something's for sale, they bid it up. And if you don't have that in writing, a contract to buy, they're not committed in any way. So they can say, well, we're not going to sell it any longer to you because these people are going to pay, this amount. So we're going to sell it to them.
Right.
It's going to burst. And I agree with Carp. Oh, it's speeding up the inflation. And I think if you look at a lot of these, like we'll buy your house things online, be careful selling it to those two because they're paying top dollar. A lot of these are countries, especially China. A lot of these are countries that have gotten billions from us. They're using that billions to come back in and drive market prices up. And I think they're trying to set inflation, skyrocket inflation.
Well, obviously, whatever they're doing, it's it's all shit.
Yep. And I agree with Carpenter 100%. Do not get a loan on it, even if it's a vehicle. Don't do it right now because
Right.
it's don't finance right now. Nothing big. If it's something you could pay off in a couple of months, cool. If it's something that's going to take you 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would not buy in this market right now. Because I think when that bubble does burst, the houses you're seeing selling for 165,000 that 5 years ago were 45, 50,000 are going to drop back down to the value of the 45, 50,000, and you're still going to owe 165,000. You still there, Carp?
I am. I'm still here. Carpenter, you
Oh
there?
hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! I've been carrying on a conversation with you guys, but mic's off.
Oh, okay.
I just thought again. I thought, the fuck did I say wrong that these guys are ignoring me? You know.
Oh no.
No, I agree 100%. Now's the time. Just kind of sit on your, put the shit away and hoard it up, and don't make any rash decisions right now.
Yeah, they
Keeps
were
you
telling
volatile.
the real estate agent was telling Hammer, says, don't fix up your house. Don't spend a dime on it. You know what I'm saying? Just keep the basics, and so it'll pass inspections, and just don't do anything special. And he hasn't. He's still getting like, I think it's like he bought the house. I think he got it for like 110, 118. And that was back early 2000s.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and now it's worth over 300 grand.
Yeah.
See, that's just it. I'm now surrounded by houses that are selling for minimum 150, 160,000. So they're going to up my value without me without me having an appraisal or anything, or even if I do anything to it, they're automatically going to up my value because everything around me is selling so high. So my taxes are going to jump up. And that frustrates me.
Yeah.
So there's a few years of lag on that one, though. There's a few years of lag on that usually.
How to maneuver in a situation like this is so sketchy. I don't know how to do it normally. I'm not even I don't do that stuff good anyway.
Well, I like what Hammer's doing. I mean, he's got a good plan.
Yep. Get the hell out from under it, take his cash, get him live debt free for a while and see what that's like and see what he thinks of that.
Yep. And he's gonna do that, and he's gonna live out of that fifth wheel camper, and he's got a second camper. He's gonna put down here on the property down here.
Yep.
He got it for $1,800. I was like, holy crap. And it's got a generator, propane tanks on it. It's got a garage in the back of it. You can pull an ATV in.
Oh, it's a toy hauler.
Yeah, it's a big time toy hauler.
I want one of them really bad.
Yeah.
I just can't quite make the leap yet. Tight.
He got it for $1,800, dude.
Yeah. If you get the right situation with the right person that needs the right, that's another thing too, Sing and Emerald right now to think is that it ain't going to be long. There's going to be that's half of why I say there's a shitstorm coming and not a one of us is ready for it. That's the other half of it. One is the medical end of it, the jab thing and what comes with that. That's a whole different discussion. But the other half is these people that have went for, I know of people that have went this whole nonsense, all this dipshittedness. They haven't paid electric bills. They haven't paid cable or gas bills, and they haven't paid house payments or rent payments.
Yep.
So there's going to be gazillions of people. I don't know how many. I don't know how many are
Well,
going to
think
be
about it.
homeless.
You got 80 million people that are quitting their jobs,
Yeah,
basically.
there's going to be a lot of homeless people in this country. Like we've never seen homelessness before.
Right.
That's the
It's
other
going to be
half.
in small towns. It's going to be in large cities. It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And it's
And it's
not like
really
this
going
is
to hit them. Whoop, go ahead.
A lot of these people ain't going to be because they're lazy.
Oh, no. Well, a lot of it, and I'm not putting them down or anything because I did it too, and everybody does it. A lot of them just kind of overextended themselves a little too much.
Yeah.
And then when something like this happens, that's what happens when you get overextended. And it's
Well, we're
it's
talking
not.
about
I don't
career
really
jobs that
blame
just
them.
got wasted.
I don't
These are
really
career
blame them.
jobs that they just.
Yep.
Go ahead.
My buddy Ken, when he lost his job, I don't blame him either. When they would come out, he wanted like a camper and a boat and all this different shit. And when they would come out, he actually had the appraiser say to him, "Well, how much do you want me to appraise it for?" So that he could qualify for this next loan he wanted. And he's a hard-working, honest, really good guy. He just got
Right.
suckered into the I want all the things. And then when him and his wife had trouble, well, then they lost everything. So
See,
I'm not good at that. Don't listen to my advice on anything financial because I'm a fucking moron. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's one of those things. It's all of our opinions, and we've all got valid opinions, and and that's
I've just learned.
Don't take mine as written in stone either. It's my opinion.
I just the way I've learned is that when I make whether I don't care what decision it is, financial, relationship, friends, whatever, if I make them based on feelings and how I feel at the time, they're all messed up. But if I stop and think and use my head and just sit back and pay attention and watch what I'm doing and be careful, I've usually made pretty good decisions.
Right.
So that the days of just jumping off the cliff are over.
And it comes down to, I see all my friends getting, like a new bass boat or a new ski boat or new jet skis, new four-wheelers, new UTVs, new vehicles, or doing this. And it's like, God, I'd love to do that. But here I am buying like the grain grinder and stuff like that a lot of them think I'm nuts, but here pretty soon I could prove to them that it's a good thing we got
can't
these.
Argue with that. I don't see a valid argument with that. That's pretty sound thinking, I think.
I'm surrounded by wheat fields and grain bins, and wheat and corn fields and grain bins. I could easily get grain. And some of these things, I mean, to be honest, with the one I'm looking at for it's like $400, $500. It's a little pricier, but I know it's going to last a long time. And I checked into it, and I can easily order parts for it here out of the States. I don't have to order them in from overseas and stuff. So $400 or $500, but at the same time, if shit hits the fan, I could produce flour for, probably 1,000 people. That thing would have to run 24/7. But I could produce a lot of flour if I needed to, and that's good trade equity there if you think about it.
Oh yeah. We might be going back to that.
I would actually like to get back to some more of a fair-based trade.
Yeah, we just kind of naturally do a bunch of that. Not like that's intentional. It's just kind of how it works out. One guy has something some other guy wants, and you just work a deal with you, a couple dollars, and trade some things, and you do a lot of horse trading around here.
Mm-hmm. Same here, and I think that's why these rural areas function so well, and we don't get caught up in a lot of the BS.
Yeah,
because if it comes down to it, people are going to make it, and community. I mean, I've got relatives that live in the city. They don't know the people in the house 10 foot away from them.
Right.
And,
I know. They don't know that.
And I know almost everybody probably within 100 square miles.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like around here. I'm kind of burrowed in, I know everybody. And so it's, as long as we don't get overrun by the blue wave.
Yeah.
We'll be okay.
the tricky part, and it made me nervous in Aaron's room. I don't, when you guys were there was one guy talking about as long as he's got enough ammo to take stuff from everybody else, and not saying he's a bad guy, but that's going to be the mentality of a lot of people.
You know what? You guys, my dad told me that years ago when they first came out with preppers. I was down in Nebraska at the bar drinking with him, getting drunk, and it just making up conversation. What do you think of this preppers? And I told him, it was while preparing and having a stockpiling and stuff. Oh, he says, don't bother with that. He said, they want you to do that. Bigger your stockpile is, he says, that they'll come take it from you. No matter how well you think you don't matter how well you think you're set up. It doesn't matter how well you think you're armed. If that arm, he said that in Vietnam, that's where that come from. He was actually in meetings where they were like, tell the people to start hoarding their food and stuff and that was so that the army could take it when the shit started. They had stockpiles filtered out everywhere. So the army would just come to fucking take whatever they needed and keep going. Procure for the cause. So I mean, prepping, like I think I like prepping as far as like being prepared, having a month or two of food, having enough food to get you for a while and get you going for a long while. But I mean, if you get too much, you're just ripe for the picking. Someone, like you said, someone with a gun's going to come up and they're going to want it.
Bingo. But if you're producing just enough for the area, they're not going to stick around there to keep having you produce for them. They're going to go out looking for other things.
Right. That's a different deal there.
Yep.
I'm talking like that
you're still setting your
shockwave.
Yeah. And I swear to God, I know people with 40-foot container units full of like MREs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I always ask them, okay, if everything goes down how it is, where they've got them, it's like, how are you getting to that without everybody knowing?
Welcome in, Jason.
People find out.
Yep.
Welcome in, Jason.
The minute they find out, you're going to get run over. It doesn't matter how burrowed you are in, they're going to run you over.
Yep.
Especially if they know you've got a mass quantity like that.
Yep. And, a few here and there won't be so hard. It's when you talk about that wave. And the people from the cities, when they run out there, that's what they're going to do. And it's not going to be people walking because they're going to have enough fuel in their vehicles or vehicles they take from other people or whatever, to where there's going to be a large amount of them driving out here and being out here within hours.
Yeah.
And
I'm 70 miles south of Minneapolis.
I'm 80 miles southeast or southwest of St. Louis, and I'm not on a main highway.
That helps.
See, I'm well over 150 from anything, but it's still not going to take them long to get here in a vehicle.
Yeah.
So, and it's all some of them got to do is, like Fort Collins and theirs, all they got to do is head straight east and they'll find all of us. There's enough highways connecting everything.
Like we were saying last night, though, it's all, I mean, I don't think it's ever going to get that far. You know what I'm saying? It's
I don't think
we've had this discussion many times.
Yeah.
We know what, I mean, I kind of have a good idea. The cities are going to get hit hard. And like Singh is saying, you're going to have the people in the cities, it ain't going to take them long to realize we are screwed big time. So we got to get out of here. And if you're in the path of one of them roving bands just blowing out of the cities, you're going to run into trouble. But for the most part, most of us aren't really going to, you may go without this or that or the other thing, things may get slow, but you're not going to, be involved in the thick of it. Right. Unless you happen to be where one of them roving bands come running through.
Here's the kicker. It already somewhat happened. And this is just with the toilet paper and other, like soaps and stuff like that and hand sanitizer. The Front Range people here were coming out to these small towns. And there were several times these stores, when they started limiting it because they were running low too. So they started limiting like one per customer and stuff like that. They had to and everything because they were coming down with U-Hauls, buying out the store, going back up there and selling it for a lot.
I heard that.
And when they would tell them one per store, they literally had to call the sheriffs on some of these people because the people started getting really angry and like borderline violent about it. So it's, just over toilet paper and stuff. Now, what happens when that's food? And I'm not saying it's going to happen. This is a what if and everything, and it's possible. We're a strong country, but this stuff can happen anywhere if, everything aligns in the way we don't want it to. I'm not trying to be a panic person. Because I don't think it'll get to that point. I really don't. I want to say that
between being prepared and being a panic, like I say, be prepared. Have a month or two's food in your house, have plenty of water, have enough that if everything goes to shit, you can at least take some time to let the big explosion dust settle, and then you at least have that time until the dust settles to figure out what you're going to do and make a plan.
Right. And I don't want anybody hopefully everybody in chat knows that these are what if scenarios we're talking about. None of us up here think it's going to happen. We're just making sure there's at least the preparedness in the back of our head just in case, because it's a possibility.
Well, up here in Minnesota, we're kind of lucky because it's not out of the ordinary for your power to go out for a week or 2 weeks at a time. It's not out of the ordinary to get snowed in and not really be able to travel around hardly at all. So that's kind of how you live here. Well, okay, you were just talking about toilet paper. Did you know that 2 weeks before the toilet paper run, just 2 weeks before the toilet paper run, I had just ran out and bought my normal, like I always do, 2 packs, and I can't remember if they were 18 or 24 rolls in a pack. I pick up a couple of them.
Right.
I had just did that, so I rode through that whole thing and never missed a beat. Never had to look for a napkin or a toilet paper. I always have plenty. I buy that stuff by the bulk when I buy it. So then when it hit, it was just sitting here.
Yeah, I do too. But on the toilet paper, unfortunately, I was on the opposite end of buying. I went into town. I didn't realize there was a shortage. I went into Walmart, nothing. Went into the dollar stores, nothing. Went into the grocery store, nothing. Finally went to a little town that's closer to me, and they have a little tiny store, and they knew me. So they're like, oh, yep, you're here to, and that's what I do. I buy minimum a month supplies at a time because it takes me a half hour to get to a big store. So I'll go shopping once a month and get most of what I need beyond milk and stuff because it doesn't last that long. And I'll get everything like that. So they, sold me two 24 packs of it. I was good.
Yeah, that's kind of just how but I could be caught. I could be caught with my pants down, real easy because, I get right down to, then I'll go, if I would just happen to be caught at the right time, I could get suckered too,
And that's what happened to me because, and I wasn't paying much attention to it. I was just go, and everything at that time. And people had mentioned it. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And when I went in to buy it, holy crap, it was all sold out. It's like no napkins, no nothing. It's like, you got to be kidding me. They really are buying it all out. And a lot of that was because that's at the time the Front Range people were coming down here and filling up U-Hauls. And loading them up. And a lot of the stores were like, yeah, let's sell them and everything. And a lot of the stores, there's some of the stores that were bumping up the price a little bit and kind of got in a little bit of trouble. And it's kind of funny because Walmart did the same thing, no trouble. They bumped their price up on them, no trouble. But some of the little stores bumped their price up on them the same amount, they got in trouble.
Well, I've seen a video where a guy worked at Walmart and they unloaded him and another guy where the guy that unloaded the trucks, like with the forklifts, they literally unloaded the semis. Well, apparently there was a scheduled semis that were for paper products.
Oh, wow.
Toilet paper, all that kind of stuff. They pulled in and his supervisor called them too. They got to work that morning and the trucks were sitting there. And the supervisor said, no, we got to send them back. And they were like, what? And he said, we got to send them back. And so this guy said that he swore that that's what he did for a living. And they had the trucks there and they were sent back.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Hey, Digital Girl, welcome in.
I don't think Digital Girl knows what any of us sound like until now.
He did.
I think this is the first time she's been at, well, at least I guess Emerald, you've been up here for a while, but Carpenter and I, this is probably the first time she actually knows what we sound like now.
Right.
Hi, Digital Girl.
Yeah,
hey, also,
good there.
if you got Twitch, this is where we're at on Twitch. So you know.
Yeah, because on YouTube apparently we give out wrong information. We have the wrong thought, the wrong thinking. So
Yeah, yeah. We just got the game got banned today. We just noticed that we went live last night, but they gave us a strike for something we did a few days ago or something. We're not even sure. Just says misinformation.
Marion's jamming out to Bushes of Love.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You know what? Just let's put a disclaimer out right now. My opinion is absolutely you should make no life choices on my opinions, or they're all they are is simply my opinions, nothing else.
And exactly what you said, opinion. This is our
Yep.
opinions. This is not, we're not stating this as you better do this as a fact this is going to happen.
No, hell no.
And,
Don't.
and just like with the potential things that could happen, we're not saying most of us up here don't even think it's going to get that bad. But if it does, we're saying this would be the thing I would do, or this is what I'm doing just in case. That's all it is. Not
Right.
not that any of us think it's going to get that far. I think now, don't get me wrong. I think we're going to see shortages, and I think we're going to see prices go nuts, and we're going to see a lot of the stagflation like they had in the 70s, and it's going to get rough. But it's
Well,
not.
why do we have hundreds and hundreds of container barges anchored off all of our shores all the way around this country?
I am telling you, I really think it's a corporate ploy. It's just like with the lumber.
I swear to God, there is no lumber shortage. There is no energy shortage. And in America, you know there is no food shortage. If
Right.
you're not getting any of the products, it's being intentionally done.
Yep. Like they're saying that milk, some of them are saying that milk could reach $10. Milk is every single bit of the milk is local distribution. And when I say local, I mean it's probably within 100 miles of you.
Absolutely.
So it is not going to, there's no reason for that. And it's just like Carpenter, you and I were talking about this with the lumber. And I bet you see it in your lumber prices there too. Before the pandemic, our prices now, even after it went down, are still 10 to 20% higher than before the pandemic, this so-called pandemic. Yep. And I think that price hike was, so when it came back down, they're like, oh, it's at a good price now. Well, it's still 10 to 20% higher. If that would have just come up 10 to 20%, a quick rise, people would have flipped.
Yeah.
But now it feels better because, well, it came down.
Oh, yeah, right.
And
yeah,
I think that's what they're going to do with other things.
Anxiety, that's probably most likely what it was, because I know we went through a bunch of articles and stuff like that. So it could have been just an article we read. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Misinformation bullshit. We didn't do no misinformation.
I know it wasn't because of me then, because I avoid the vaccine. I'm one of those people, if you want to get it, cool. If you don't want to get it, don't get it, cool. I don't want to get it, but to each their own. So I just stay out of that one. Not sitting on the fence because I don't want to get it. I believe in personal choice.
I agree. Do it if you want, whatever you want to. Wear 10 masks, cover your hands in rubber, put it full. I don't care what you do.
Right.
Do whatever you feel like doing. Whatever it feels makes you safe, you have at her.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if people ask, I'll give the information I have on it, in my opinion. But yep.
Well, I ain't tiptoeing through no fucking tulips, man. I swear, this stupid bullshit.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. I'm sick and tired of it. You know.
Well, and that's just what you see.
All it is another thing it's another thing to divide us, and they're so good at dividing us. They're so good at it because even Trump supporters are fighting over the vaccine one way or another. Yeah. And it's like, we've got to stop falling in. We've got to remember personal choice. And yes, get the information out there. Don't be afraid to say what you've learned on it and everything. That shouldn't be an issue. That's on YouTube. And then for, in my opinion, breaking laws of speech, people giving what the information they found and everything. That's a bunch of crap. but to have as bad as it was getting, and I think it's kind of lightened up now, but as bad as it was getting there for a while, about people even talking about, well, I won't let my family into my house if they have the vaccine. And then on the other side, well, I won't let my family into my house if they don't have the vaccine. It's like, are you kidding me? I've got family that has, and I've got family that hasn't, and they're all welcome at my house.
Yeah, I don't care. I literally ignore the whole thing. I don't care what it doesn't. I don't care any bit. It's immaterial to me. I don't give a shit about it anymore. I'm done with it. And all I can do is what I can do. Like I don't do this. I don't, whatever I choose. That's what I do. I just try not to let that affect me. I feel horrible for the people that is being affected.
Yes. And on either side of it, I don't want to see anybody get hurt by anything, and whether I like the person or not, I don't want to see any harm come to anybody if they're a good, decent person. Now, if there's somebody out offing people, then yeah, I wouldn't feel too bad, but it's people that are living their life and not hurting anybody. I don't want to see any harm come to any of them. I wish no harm on anybody.
Yeah, I wish success. I wish success for everybody, and I legitimately mean that. When I say that, you guys, I want everybody to prosper and have peace and enjoy their life to whatever realm whatever direction it takes.
Right,
doesn't matter to me.
Diesel, I'm not surprised. Colorado is at the epicenter right now on a lot of that. It's getting ridiculous. There's literally transplant victims that can't get the transplant because either the person donating or the person getting it don't want to get the vax, so they're canceling the transplant. These are life-saving things they're canceling because people aren't vaccinated. The insanity is getting too much. I don't know what happened to personal choice. It just went out the window. And is what it is they got people to panic on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And they're using it.
Yeah, that you run by emotions, you run by panic. I promise you're going to make poor decisions.
Right.
Because that's what I've learned. And I learned that through lots of life experiences. Has nothing to do with the situation they're in now. Because I used to be when I was younger. I did go a lot by my emotions, and I pretty much made every wrong decision you could make.
Yep.
And then I got older, and I thought I just would stop and think for a second before I did something. And from that point on, when I stopped to think, and I wish I would have started it. If I would have started that when I was 20, I'd be way ahead of where I'm at now. But I didn't,
Right. Right. I don't know. Everything just baffles me. I don't.
Yeah.
Make
any. There's no sense to it. There's no sense to this shit. We're trying. Yeah. I have a niece that's a really hardcore drug addicted fool, right? And my oldest sister, me and my youngest sister were talking. She and this niece used us quite a bit. Me and the younger sister. Okay, we just couldn't believe the stuff she was doing, and we were talking one time about, me and her were talking in front of our oldest sister about, we just can't. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And she says, well, it's not going to make any sense to you because you wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't act like this. You wouldn't do this. So to you, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and she says you just have to know what it is and see what she's doing, and know what they're doing, and that's where we're at kind of here. We just got to know what they're doing, and it doesn't make any sense.
You nailed it. I think it's It's hard to wrap.
Rock on, Digital
Girl. Are like that.
We'll see you soon.
Take care, Digital. Come back soon. But yeah, I agree.
Later, Digital.
The insanity of it, and just like say shit does hit the fan and you're not completely prepared, don't panic. Put your head down and push through it. That's all you can do, and rely on community, local community. It's just, that's all you can do on anything. Just put your head down, do what you think is right, and go from there.
But on a lighter note, for like the next 6 weeks, you guys, all this stuff. I'm not messing. I'm clearing my head of it. Right. I don't have at camp. I don't have cell phone service, and I don't have internet.
Right. Thank you,
so when I'm there, there's nothing you can do. So it takes about a day and a half. And then you get used to just not even having nothing to do with it. And then it gets like old habit. And then you come back and it's like sensory overload again.
Right. And I think that's partially why I'm shoving myself into so much work, is to try to avoid this and just work on my plan that I've got for myself. Just keep working on it as if I were, with, nothing else was going on. And
that's
all I can do.
the smartest thing to do.
Yep.
I think that's what I'm doing. I just keep on working the plan,
Yep.
Right.
Keep working on the mill.
Yep. Keep your head down and keep digging.
Yep. And I just spend most of the day closing down the garden. I only got okra, green beans, and peppers growing. So I'm, emptying out the pots and putting all the dirt back in the garden, getting all those things cleaned up, stashed where they're going to be for the winter till I need them for spring. Getting the hoses up, sprinklers put away, all that shit, closing down the garden.
Yeah.
And
shutting her down for the winter.
Yep.
Yeah, he will marry him. He's going to be mad he missed Stitch.
I know.
Or
right?
Dallas.
Oh, he is. Yeah. You're right. That's what even though I only said hi to her. Oh yeah, she come in and we all said hi to her, and
yeah.
It'll drive him nuts.
Really rub it in.
But yeah, I'm going to be tilling it in, and I can start tilling on it. I've only got a few things I got to go around, so.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I agree, Toe. Be good with God, always. That's whether things are good or bad, in my opinion. Be good and have your own relationship with God.
Yeah, I just ask for his blessings and guide my hands, put the words in my mouth and people in my path.
Yep.
Give me the wisdom to see the opportunities he puts in front of me.
Yep. And I truly do, whether, a lot of people really lean on it hard when things get bad. And I think it needs to be that same relationship when things are good too.
Yeah. Well, that's been my case for the last 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Just drive forward. Just know he's got a plan for me. All I got to do is keep doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and it'll work.
And right now things are going, things were really starting to go good under Trump, and they've taken a little bit of a hit now, actually a pretty good hit, especially with the prices of fuel. That's killing me. But all in all, it's still going pretty good, but it doesn't change my relationship with God. I mean, he's still, close to heart. So,
well, if you remember, Obama had us all fucked up on gas prices too.
Yeah.
Hey, oddball. Yeah, he did.
I dropped the phone. Okay.
And when Trump came in, he just undid all that bullshit. Said, we ain't doing it like this no more. We're going to do America first, and we'll make deals good for the people. And fuck all you bullshit, motherfuckers. And price of gas came down under $2. Who'd have thought?
Well,
nobody was even thinking that was possible.
There's no doubt what we're up against. There's no argument anymore left about who these people are or what their intentions are.
Yeah,
correct.
It's a redistribution of wealth to other countries too.
Right.
Right now and they're not poor countries. Saudi Arabia is not a poor country. We do not need to be buying billions of dollars of fuel from them or oil from them.
Well, 11 months ago, you guys, we were energy efficient. We were energy sufficient. We had our own.
Yep.
11 months
ago. And we became a net exporter.
Yeah. One of the biggest. That's how that's where this comes, where everything, I don't care if it's food or whatever, it's like the cargo ships anchored out in the oceans. None of this is real. Like by real, I mean, it's real. You really got to go without. I'm not saying that, but it's not real, like organic.
Yeah. It's artificially created.
It's artificial. Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Same.
Manipulated. It's manipulated.
Exactly,
That's the proper
manipulated.
word.
And there's just no doubt anymore. There's no gray area, absolutely none. That
Yeah.
what they're doing is just total manipulation.
I think that's why that I'll say it, let's go Brandon chant is so popular just everywhere now, is because even people that supported him, the people that supported him are angrier than the rest of us because they
Well, they got
believed
to
all
pay
the
$3.20,
innocent.
$3.15, $3.10. They're paying
Yep.
over $3 a gallon for gas too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the disaster with remember when he said that if Trump was elected, we'll lose another 200,000 people to COVID. And what has it been? Another 900,000 or 700,000, something under him.
Yeah.
It's like, well, 200,000 seems pretty darn good compared to 700 or 900 or whatever it is. It just, yep. And people see that too. And they're like, what the hell? And
Yeah,
these
that
people
green-
that really believed in him are angry.
That Green New Deal, that's a bigger hoax than this fucking viral nonsense.
It's another way for the American taxpayers to fund all sorts of worldwide stupidity.
Well, everything for them is a money laundering scam.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't
Oh,
matter
yeah.
what form it comes in. They say there's two different ways we can wipe out our debt, our national debt, and that's our foreign aid. What's the other one?
Mhm.
The difference in percentage tariffs, trade
Yep.
tariffs. If they put them in line and they knock all this foreign aid crap off, we wouldn't have a $22 trillion, $28 trillion, whatever it is. We wouldn't have that.
Look what with what Trump was doing with the oil, with the production of oil here. Look what it was doing. Look how much money it was putting back into America.
Right.
And just that. I mean, and like you say, the other things, foreign aid is a major one. Yes, don't get me wrong. Americans have big hearts. And when they say that we all, like building the wall, oh, you guys just don't care. No, we care. But we've got to remain this stable place to be able to help these other people in these other countries. If we lose the stability, the whole world loses stability.
Right.
And you can't.
Toe says it. Brought to you by Pfizer. I'd seen that, Toe. That's something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're being exposed everywhere. And I don't know that. I don't want to. It really looks like there's more going on here than what we're seeing.
Well,
It's good versus evil. This is a spiritual battle. This is ideology. This is ideologues. These are policies and principles and powers, guys. This is the war of principles and powers, not
right, oddball. That's how stupid that is. That's dumb.
And so much as it has to do with control and money too. And I mean spiritual, but when it comes down to it, they're gaining money to gain the power over people.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And that's why this corporate fascism type of thing, that's this weird combination of two things. That's why the out of control, what do they call it? Crony capitalism gives regular capitalism, which actually America is not supposed to be a capitalist. We're supposed to be a free market nation, not a capitalist.
free
capitalist
market.
nation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's a big confusion. Everybody's like, well, we're supposed to be a capitalist nation. It's like, no, we're supposed to be a free market nation. And look into it, it's different. So, and this crony capitalism has led to where these large corporations have got their politicians in to where even though our antitrust laws are on the books, they're not upheld.
Nope.
Definitely wickedness in high places.
Right.
There's wicked. I watched Miriam. I seen a guy a while back say that when we, even like us here, who we all think we kind of know what, we have our own opinions, but we all kind of know what's going on, that we're going to be horrified when we find out the truth.
Yeah. Even
us,
Yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah.
Look at the fact that all the research on this this so-called COVID vaccine, And yes, I call it so-called it. I still don't see the benefits myself. For others, hey, if you did the research, you want it, cool. I'm not trying to take anything away from it.
Nice
But
to
when
throw
it
that
comes down to-
disclaimer in there.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't want to get a strike on Twitch for Emerald. Didn't want to
Yes,
add a
that's
strike
right.
there.
Right.
So
All views expressed here are opinions of the panel only and not to be used to make life choices. Make your own decision.
exactly. Yep. And now, normally in a one-on-one conversation, I might be a little more blunt, but I'm not going to risk the strike. So,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to it, it's 100% taxpayer funded, the research, 100%. So these companies paid nothing for the research. These vaccines cost $17.50, and you can look this up. $17.50 to create. They're selling these back to the government. It is not a free shot. Our taxpayer dollars are paying $420 per shot. It's not free.
Yeah. That's how it works too. I had a guy ask me one time about how did you, especially with my limited ability, how did you learn to research to find out, different things? I said, first thing you do is you'd stay away from anything that's government funded. Anything that's in any way, shape, or form tied to any funding from government or big pharma or big business, you just stay away from that, and that you don't listen to.
Right.
And then you start your search. Then you start trying to figure out with what you got left, what's really going on. It's limited what you get, what we get.
And look on even the whitehouse.org, .gov, DHS.gov, all this stuff. It's all there. It's hidden in plain sight on most of this stuff. It's just a lot of people won't research it. And if they don't hear it on the news, then they don't believe it. And that's what they say. Well, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. It's like everything I read on the internet is everything .gov and on different things. So you're telling me what the government puts on there I shouldn't believe? Which I don't deny some of that, but yeah. So and different bills signed. I mean, you can go on places and read these bills that have been put into effect. You can, there's all this stuff is accessible. It's all hidden in plain sight.
Well, Alex Jones says that all the time. Everybody's like, how did you learn this? You must have this. He goes, we just found the papers. We read it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Their thesis. They publish their theses. They publish their papers. These are public statements and public record.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why they make what could be a 10-page document into a 4,000-page document.
Yeah.
Because
did you see that?
People aren't going to go through it.
Did you see that spending bill, that $3.5 trillion spending bill when they held it up?
Oh my God. Yeah.
That looked like a Minneapolis St. Paul phone book, you guys.
Do you guys like Jesse Waters? He went through just a small fraction of some of the pork that was in it. There's literally like $50 million for butterfly research. There's
what the hell?
Like $20 million for desert fish research.
Oh,
There's it's one of those porculus bills. And guess what, Americans? Yep. Guess what, Americans? Our taxes are going to go up. And when they say, "Oh, it's a tax on the rich," BS. I can tell you on just on my part-time jobs, it's already an increase on my tax, on the amount coming out of my checks on the part-time jobs. I fear at the end of the year, because I'm mainly self-employed, I fear at the end of the year doing taxes because I am going to get nailed.
What they're talking about when they say it's a tax on the rich? They're talking about independent and self-employed and well-to-do people. We're not talking about, you got $1 million or more. We're talking about you're self-sufficient, you're paying your way, you're paying your bills. They consider you're not on government assistance, so you're rich.
Right. Yeah. And it has not, and they're not taxing corporations. They're not taxing these mega corporations, and they're not. And the thing is, the reason everybody's like, well, why are the rich people behind it then? It's like, because they're taxing income. They are not taxing what you already hold. These people that are already rich are going to hold that wealth. And with it, put into place how it is, they're just going to increase in their value. You're going to get taxed more so it's going to be harder for you to get to that level to compete with them. So they're going to own that certain area of business. They're going to monopolize it, and they're not going to be affected in any way except for what's coming in, what they're getting taxed on income. What they hold already is set. They won't get taxed on that. So that's why they're behind it, because they're not going to deal with any type of competition that way. It's going to be very much harder for regular people to build themselves up to compete with it.
Well, business owners don't normally get a income. They get what's called capital gains.
Yeah.
Okay, it's different. It's treated different. It's got different rules and loopholes and stuff like that. So it's not an income. They don't get a W-2 from their business. They get a 1099.
Right.
And that's just it. When they talk about that they raise, okay, say they raise it from, I think a lot of them, I think Trump had it down to like 32%. Now they'll raise it back up to 40% or 45%, but just like you said, they're going to add more loopholes, more write-offs, to where these people will end up paying less, and these larger corporations will end up paying a lot less.
And then the everyday schlub trying to be an independent contractor just gets everything taken from it.
Is going to get nailed. Instead of 40 to 45%, which it is now, it's going to be 60%. It's going to get, for self-employed people. I mean, look at during COVID. I mean, in Colorado, one of the key things was here. They let McDonald's and, Burger King and all those do drive up. A lot of smaller restaurants tried delivery or at the door drive up. Well, they weren't allowed to because they didn't have the proper drive up facilities. So they made them still shut down a lot of the times, but allowed the larger businesses to keep going. You can't tell me that it's one of those rules for thee, not for me.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's so frustrating. Different stores had all these restrictions, yet people are still able to pack into Walmart. It's just insane to me. And it's right there in front of everybody to see if you just open your eyes. I burped into the phone. Sorry, guys.
Fire in the motherfucking bowl. That's time for fire in the bowl, guys. Load them up. Brought to you by Sausage Gravy Biscuit Farms.com.
Carpenter, I think you and I have a lot of the same outlooks. I enjoy talking with you. Must be our carpentry background. Oh, you muted yourself again. Oh, maybe this time you muted it.
Zoom put out the bat signal.
Free healthcare.
Right.
I need to definitively say this. I think our healthcare system needs restructured, and it's a conversation we need to have. As for free healthcare, I completely agree.
I think it should be released to free market. I think it should be released to free market and get rid of these fucking insurance companies.
And make it more of an open market to where there's more competition, to where prices come down. Because right now it's out of control.
There is a place out there called Christian. It's a Christian healthcare network.
Huckleberry.
And they, you pay monthly on it, but when you have something that happens to you, they pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? And it's done through.
Nice.
Have you heard about that?
Yep. We've got some, well, not that one specifically. We've got some local churches that do that people that belong to it give a little bit monthly. And if somebody comes up with a bill, there was one church here that they actually even went outside of the church and people gave donations. And within like a couple of months, they had $1 million to pay for cancer treatment for one of the parishioners.
Zoom, meet you. I heard that discussion the other night. About meat
Yeah, the
glue.
meat glue.
Shit's good, but boy, it'll kill you quick.
Right.
I know
Right.
I got that same thing with chicken. I love chicken nuggets from McDonald's. And
Right.
I don't go there. I don't go get them. I don't go get them.
No.
Because I
Yeah.
just don't know what the hell's in that stuff,
Right. Meat glue.
Well, yeah, my God, are they good? I can eat
That's
20 of them coming back from camp every time I come back.
I've been holding off, and I know the McRib is back, and I haven't gone and gotten one.
Well, just
So-
stay
I
out
like
of there. Don't even go there, and you won't have a problem.
I
I
know,
like the
right?
Big Mac. I like the Big Mac, but I haven't gotten one for probably about
They're
a
good
year now
too.
because when I eat a Big Mac, my body just is very mad at me.
Yep.
When I eat a
Yeah.
Big
Oh
Mac.
yeah, me and Jackson noticed that same thing. That's when we eat at home all the time. But there was a while when he was younger and stuff. I mean, there was a time in my life when I kind of lived off that crap.
Yeah, the Burger King Whoppers.
I was
Oh,
just I was
shit.
running constantly. I mean, I never stopped. So you'd pull in, grab something, go, and then I went all these years now and I don't eat that stuff. And then I think, well, we're going to stop and get this or get that. And boy, that McDonald's will make me sick. Them quarter pounders tear my stomach up for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep. And see, when I eat them, not only do I mean, at times I feel nauseous like the next day, but for 2 days, people do not want to be around me because I do not
Yeah.
smell good for several
Well,
days.
yeah, it's fucking rotting in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it smells like it when it
Fucking right. It makes you sick. Me and Jax,
Yeah.
we don't go there. We will literally, we'll just run to the grocery store and pick up something from there quick and heat it up at home. Anything. I'll get a frozen pizza.
Right.
Before I'll go there
See-
anymore. That stuff really, it wasn't until I got away from it for an extended period of time and then would dabble back into it that I noticed that, it's
And
kind
then
of the
notice
same
you're
thing.
sick. Right.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with, like right now, I'm getting really good vegetables from everybody, just tons of it. Well, now it'll run out, I suppose, January, sometime around in that time, a little after. But right in that time, it'll run out because it ain't enough for me to go the whole year. And then I don't really notice it. Like I just noticed these are good vegetables, really good vegetables, but I'll really notice it when I run out of these and then I have to go back to store bought. That's when you notice the serious decline in product.
Right. No flavor, no taste, no.
Right. Big, bulbous, round, perfect, beautiful, perfect colored tomato tastes like shit compared to
Yeah.
what you just had. And the one you had a green streak that was growing down one side and, because it was laying on the
grow
vine
right
wrong.
on the other, and it was folded.
Yeah, exactly. That's because it was grown in a garden, not hanging in a perfect little environment somewhere. That
Right.
these perfect little things to, make it look redder and make it, be more appealing to the eye.
I tell you
Yep.
what, I really enjoy the burgers when I'm pulling the lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickles out of my garden.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you, you guys want to know something. You want to throw in, for me, then in my world, it's fresh venison and garden vegetables. If I could, I would live off that year round if I could. I'd live
Yep.
off it. I wouldn't eat nothing else, literally nothing else.
Well, I would do the rice and the noodles and the rice and the noodles are going to be important. The beans, yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're
But I
talking
mean,
about.
if I could, I'd live off fresh garden vegetables and wild game.
Yep.
I can't though. I get a lot of it, but I can't do it all. I eat plenty of hamburger and pork chops and roasts and everything, hot dogs, all kinds of shit.
Right.
But I try
Right.
to, like I got a few left, and now I'm that big doe with that 3 triplets come by. I'm gonna poke a hole in her quick. She's the only one, but this time of year it's warm, so you got to deal with them. You can't just hang them up. You got to take them, get them out of the woods, get them to a freezer, get them to a locker.
Right.
So it's like you got to deal with them. But if I get a shot at that big, she's big. She's over 200 pounds on the hoof. I'm sorry, you guys. There I went. I took a right hand turn. I shouldn't even be on when I'm at this time of year.
It's all good.
It's
You know,
all, you
I'm
know what I did
thinking,
all day today was I put the trail four-wheelers, I cleaned them all spotless, put them away. They're in storage in a person's heated garage back in the corner, just tucked away nice and snug. I cleaned the big trailer out. I'm taking the big trailer and putting that in storage, maybe, or it's going to sit where it's at for the rest of the winter. And I got to tomorrow get the little trailer and the old four-wheeler and get that all cleaned up. And in the process of that, pack all my stuff. And the trailer's nice because it's better than trying to pack your truck, because you just walk out with totes and slide them in the trailer. When you get a cooler, you just walk out and slide it in the trailer. You don't have to put it in the back of the pickup and organize it or nothing like that. You can just throw it in there. And that's what I'll do tomorrow. And my goal is to be out of here Friday midday. Don't know if I'll get to hunt Friday night, but then I'm going to take off. And from Saturday morning, this Saturday morning on, I am fucking hunting every fucking second I possibly can. I don't give a shit. I've warned everybody around here. I've told them already. I'm fucking leaving, and I don't know if I'm coming back.
See, all my
I'm
friends
excited, you guys. I get a 6-week reprieve from this nonsense, you know.
so we won't see you till after Thanksgiving, huh?
No, I'll come back on and off, and I'll come back for 3-4 days at a time and go back. But if they start running, I'm done. I'm gone. I got to go.
Right.
But it'll be hit and missing on it because it moves around a little bit, you know. But I got guys that live over there. They're the ones that are telling me that, you know, it could start this weekend. So I want to get over there, get embedded in, get all my gear set up, ready, hunted, so it's organized. So then it's just a matter of put it away, lock the door, and come back in 2 or 3 days, and then try for a couple days, and then as soon as it takes off, you've never hunted the rut, have you? There's like 2 weeks of the year where the woods explodes with deer movement.
Well, don't worry, man. I was thinking I could drive up there because now we're getting some more things. You got a puppy coming, you got a cooler coming, and then I want some deer meat. So I could come up and hang out with you for a weekend, and you know.
If I wasn't where I'm at, I would get that dog in a minute.
Right, I know.
I'd make the trip. I'd jump in the truck and come down and grab one of them big old lumbering clods, just like 4-wheel drive, all-terrain mud dog. You know,
right.
Them buggers can go anywhere. You know, they're like swamp dogs. They can them big old lumbering. They just plow through everything. You know, and they love it.
I'll tell you what, Ranger, he's got a jump on him. He'll jump 15, 16 feet, 10 feet in the air.
That's cool.
You know, he launches over trees and stuff like that. He don't run around. He jumps over stuff like that.
That black lab I had for duck hunting, you guys, I would have loved, and I'd never had no technology, but that black lab I had for hunting ducks, and he hunted pheasants, but mainly ducks is what he did. If I ever had a camera, I've seen him go 12 foot off the inside of a creek bank over a pile of brush on the way there. After a duck that splashed, you'd shoot a duck and it'd splash. He'd see that splash in the water. And I mean, it was just a beeline dead run fast as he could. He'd leave the ground. He'd clear 6-7 feet over brush before the edge of the creek and then just go way out into the middle of the river, splash, and start swimming for that duck. And I've seen that it was so cool. It's like, one buddy, and he's just like that fucker just up over everything and a big ears flying, tail wagging. You know, they love it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And I got one picked out for you too. Nice male.
Big male?
Big male, yeah.
Nice. That's what I want. I want a big male.
A little longer.
Cut his nuts at about 8 months old, because I'm not ever going to breed him. So cut his nuts at about 8 months old, and he'll just he'll stay a puppy his whole life. He'll stay really family oriented.
I won't tell him that though. Okay.
No, we'll go it under. We're just gonna get you just need to get vaccinated. I'll just tell him he's getting vaccinated. It's just your parval shot or whatever that is.
Right, some shit. Right.
Well, that's what they're doing to us.
Right. Yeah, no shit.
It's just the COVID. Well, why are my balls inside of baseballs?
Right.
You know, why can't I get a hard on? I just couldn't get rid of one. I got the shot. Now I can't get one.
Right.
No, not me personally, because I haven't had it. But
I
you
know,
what
I
I'm
know. Later, tow truck. Take care, buddy.
saying. Later, toll.
But yeah, I was gonna say, once you get back with all that, then we can do all that. I'll trade you out for a bunch of meat.
I can get dry ice for like $15 a pound, and I bet all I'd need is a pound of dry ice.
I got the
Pack of
coolers.
Yeah,
I got all
that.
back. Yeah.
I got the coolers, so I just could pack them and go jump in the truck and fill it up with gas and leave. I might run you down a care package.
Oh, dude, that would be so badass.
Yeah. Get the hell out of here when it's really cold.
Right. Right.
Yeah, he doesn't see very harsh winters there. That's not fair.
No, that isn't. These ones here, these suck, you guys. These things suck.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when I say spit bombs and cold, I mean I know I'm in southern Minnesota, but there's a dip that comes right down through Minnesota, catches most of Wisconsin, and it's a big dip. And it's that, I don't know what do they call that thing? Nor'easter? Not I don't know what they call it, but that, holy shit, does it get cold sometimes?
Right. Right.
It's
yeah.
it's the cold that literally hurts when it hits your face, and yeah, that's how our wind chill is here.
Well, yeah, he's a good 500-600 miles north of me. So
yeah, I'm like 70 miles south, right around 70 miles. And as the crow flies, I think it's like 83 to drive it, but it's like 70 miles as the crow flies south, little southwest of Dallas. Like I could be to see Dallas in an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, maybe a little longer, but right about that time.
Right.
And so me and him, that's why you'll see us talking about
the weather. How far are you
because
from the Iowa border? How far are you from the Iowa border?
50 miles, maybe 45. 45 miles from the Iowa border, and I'm about 35 miles west of the Mississippi River. So so now the river is the border of Minnesota. So I'm 35 miles to the west, and then I'm from Iowa coming up. I'm probably 30, 35, 40 miles up, about the same. Right. And then I'm down in that corner, that southeast corner of Minnesota.
Yeah, I remember I looked it up at one point. We were talking about we were trying to save Aaron from freezing to death.
Yeah.
I bet on parallel you're directly east of me, because I'm on the extreme north of Colorado.
Yeah, but how you get snow when it's like my nephew's in Denver. Yeah. And he said, well, shit, we'll get 3 feet of snow. 2 feet. He said, we just get buried. But he said it melts within a week.
Colorado is crazy. We'll get a blizzard, and then within a couple of weeks there will be no sign of the snow, because
that's what he said. It happens all the time out there.
Yep, out of nowhere it'll pop up to the 70s and melt it all away, and it's just brown.
No, we don't get that here. We don't get nothing like that here. Nothing like that. It gets nasty fucking cold. Sometimes it gets nasty cold sometimes.
And see, with our wind chill out on the plains is what gets us. We get a lot colder than Denver because of that wind chill.
Wind chill is nasty.
But out here too, we'll hit out of the blue 70 degrees. The worst part about that is we'll see several days with 70 degrees, and it'll only get down to I'd say 15 to 20 at night. And then, 70 during the day, it'll warm up pretty quick. Oh. And sometimes it'll just get under 30 at night. But then the next 2 days, it can be -20 with a wind chill of -40 during the day. And it goes back and forth. So a lot of people get really sick in those spikes.
Oh, okay.
Going back and forth. So that's why we've got such a bad pneumonia problem and stuff here.
Yeah, really up here, you kind of hunker down when that bitter hits. Yeah. You kind of hunker down and shut down, and there's really nothing else you can do about it, You know, you
Yep.
just got to go
Yep.
through your life as best you can with it.
Oh, you're up near. You're up around Rochester.
Yeah, I'm 18, 20 miles south, a little bit southeast of Rochester.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I built a lot of them buildings, the Mayo Clinic buildings. I did a lot of them.
Rock on. Yeah, I was just looking at the route.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
close.
that
I'm
wouldn't be
really
bad at
close.
all.
And just so you know, nobody here uses the Mayo Clinic either. I mean, not even a lot of the people that work there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're like a
All
fucking
hype.
number. It's like you're like a no. I suppose they're really good at. I don't know what they do, but they're really good at what they do. But it's like when you go in there, you're like a number. You're like it's not.
Mm.
There's no. You don't have any feeling. I went through a broken neck with total paralysis with them, and you're like a fucking number. You're like a slab on a table. There was no like personal touch to it. And then when I crushed my left arm, and then I went to Olmsted Medical Group is where I went to with that. And that's the same county. It's just the county hospital. And I did that by choice. I went to them and they were just super friendly and nice. And hell, I had nurses and doctors calling me on their days off, about how my progress was going. You know what I'm saying? Where at Mayo, you felt like a number.
Right.
Oh, I fully understand that being a number thing. I'm actually dealing with a minor problem right now of still paying on tens of thousands of dollars worth of bills of a misdiagnosis.
Ain't that nice?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm talking that I still owe, not to mention what I've paid in the past. And this is over 15 years. So all that I paid in the past, and it turns out it was a problem with my back the whole time, and went to the chiropractor, and now the chiropractor's got me to where I'm feeling great, and found out all this time it's been a misdiagnosis, and I still owe them, making payments on tens of thousands of dollars worth of tests. Because like when they send you in for MRI after MRI after MRI, I mean, those
I've
things
had
are like $5 or $6
gazillions of
grand a
those.
piece.
Yep, I've had
Yeah.
gazillions of those.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yep.
Though.
Yeah. I got really
So
good
now,
insurance, though. Union, I got Union
yeah.
90/10, so
See, I had 85.
yeah.
And still, but it got to the point where the insurance stopped, or they started rejecting them, the tests. I didn't know they rejected them, and the test still got done. So it comes back on me.
Oh,
Because
sure.
the insurance will only pay for so many of the tests, but they still do them.
That's one of the things you never hear nothing about right now. People that are, if they got this, injection and they're having medical problems and they know it's from that. A lot of people are getting their insurance ain't covering them.
Right.
Yep.
Their personal insurance, like you have, like we all have, it ain't covering it because it was elective. Because when you sign that piece of paper, you're choosing to go along with this.
Participate in the experiment.
Yeah, well, that's that paper you sign. That paper that's the hypocrisy of this. That paper that you sign is telling them you're going along with this. You're willingly doing this. When really, a lot of people are losing their jobs because they're, so the paper says willingly. So then your insurance company, it's just like, how many, what are you going to pick like 4 or 5 different ways to screw us from,
Right.
1 or 2 ain't good enough. Let's find 3 or 4. Let's get them from every angle we can come up. Let's get down. Let's think of every angle and let's just bury these fuckers. That's what I feel like. That's what they're doing to us. They just,
it's a bullying tactic.
Oh, totally.
And
totally.
you all know how I feel about bullies.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, and that's
I
what
can tolerate anything.
tactic.
You can say shit to me, I would walk away. I don't even bother with it. If I see somebody getting bullied like that, then I'm going to step in every time.
Right.
And normally I wouldn't even. I just walk away.
I don't get frustrated easy, but But if it's somebody getting bullied or something, I get frustrated quick.
Now, that is not tolerated.
Nope.
Right, Miriam. You know, and it probably in my life, there's probably been 10 for sure that I can, so it's probably around 12. So probably 10 that I've had bullies where I've confronted bullies that a couple of times there were guys fucking beating on these little guys. And it's like, dude, you got him by like 80 pounds and you're smacking him around. Leave him the fuck alone. And I've waded into a couple of them situations, more than one, where I was pretty sure I was walking into an ass whipping. And not one time have they ever, as a bully, ever reciprocated. Not once, ever.
I've had a couple times where they actually swung, and I found out they couldn't fight with crap. And the bully tactics are just really nice. And I think that's what it is. The bullies, they know they can't compete, so they go after the little guy. And then even when I don't know the ones that have had a couple swing on me though, but they're not good at it.
Yeah, I always
most of the times, like you say, they'll back down.
Yeah, I always look forward to that, and it never happens. It's like I've just been dying to be confronted about all this shit. I literally have never had a mask on my face. You can ask my family, not one time. And I've went every single place, everywhere. I walk right in the door. Dentist office. I don't care where I go. Sir, do you have a mask? No, and I'm not wearing one. And I walk right by them. You know, and I've never been confronted. I've never, except the guy at the gas station that told me that he was social distancing. Other than that, I've never had anything said to me. And I'm
nobody around here, like on a day-to-day basis, wore them. I mean, there's a few people, and it's funny because we've got some of the people that, you know, like they're on a motorcycle by themselves or in a car by themselves that are wearing them. I always find that amusing. But
me too.
Yeah, but I'll admit, like going into the hospital, I wear one. But even before COVID, the hospitals here did, because we've got a bad, like with those temperature raises and spikes I was talking about, we've got a problem with the flu. So hospitals here usually in the winter, they ask you to wear one anyways. So.
Yeah, we get slapped pretty hard with the flu here, especially around January, middle of January. It starts up really bad because everybody's cooped up inside all the time with no fresh air, you know.
Right.
Yep. So it just stagnates. It gets like flus come around here every now and then. They get us pretty good too. Well, you know, that's when this thing all started. I thought, well, do like we do here. Like we'll get a stubborn flu in our house, and it just, you know, how you get over it, and then Jackson will get it, and then Jackson will get over it, and I'll get it, and it goes it's relentless. Then that's when I break out the Clorox wipes and sprays, and I go do all the knobs and wipe the counters off, and the, you know, toilet knobs and the back of the sink, and, you know, you wipe everything off. But that's kind of what we have to do up here, you know.
Well, when I started using the silver with the kids and everything, when I started using the silver, we stopped having colds and flus and shit like that. They weren't bringing nothing home, and they weren't getting sick.
Right.
A few times a month, I will, because I've got that wood burning fireplace, and I usually stock up on the wood. But a few times a month, I'll open up all the windows, even during the winter, turn the central air off, and crank up that fireplace, and just hang out around the fireplace for, you know, a good 20 minutes with the windows wide open, and then let that fireplace bring it somewhat back to temperature, and then kick the central air back on. But that just puts new fresh air, you know, in the house and everything. So like you say, with that stale air, that's the thing that'll get you.
Some of these places, they got some pretty fancy air handling units just to bring in fresh air around here. Like you do, I just bite the fucking bullet and open the window, but they've got some pretty fancy, you know, to circulate the air from these. Like, but who has, you know, $7,000 to spend on a fucking fresh air handling unit? You know,
right?
Yep. I think Home Depot had one here for around $4,500, but I was able to buy mine for $1,200. So it's like, I'll just open the windows occasionally.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong,
Yep.
them refresheners, I think that's what they call them. They're like refreshers or whatever. Them units, they're pretty nice. I'm not saying they're not. They're just that money. That's holy shit. That's a lot of money.
Well, and if you got the money, they're good because a lot of those use those like full like 3-level HEPA filters and
Oh yeah,
the
we have them here.
Serious HIPAA. Yeah.
Not me though. I run a standard forced air furnace with just a basic regular filter system, and I open the windows a couple times a year, like you do, like you said.
Yep, and that's what Huck says. And if you hang out by that, and you don't leave it open long enough to freeze pipes or anything like that,
hurry back,
but
Huck.
if you hang out by, hurry back, Huck. But like, if you hang out around that wood burning stove or that fireplace, you stay perfectly warm.
Yeah. Takes a lot to freeze up your pipes. Takes a lot.
Yeah. Yep. In 20 minutes, they're not going to freeze. You'd have to leave it open pretty much overnight.
Yeah.
To freeze. And here, like even like if you do have a pipe exposed, it's probably not going to freeze until about 3 or 4 in the morning, because that's when just before sunup is when we get the coldest.
Yeah. And I just replumbed this whole house with PEX, so
PEX is nice.
We don't have to worry about freezing, busting pipes.
Yeah.
Yep. Every inch of this one before I moved in was done in PEX.
I just for the first time just seen this PEX remember I told you, I think it was last year, Mal's froze her house out. You guys remember me talking about that?
Yeah.
I mean, she broke the toilets, broke every sink in the house, broke the plumbing behind the washer, broke it 8 times underneath the trailer, busted the bathroom out. Both toilets were completely exploded. Both bathrooms every fixture completely destroyed. Every fixture was ruined. Yeah, kitchen sink, all of it, shut offs, the whole 9 yards. Blew the whole system up. Let it out. Was all fully pressurized with water, and it froze to like 20 below zero.
Holy shit!
For like 6 days. Yeah, only cost me about $6,000.
Right.
Of course, not her, but me.
Of course.
Yeah, this is a 3-bath. This is a 3-bath kitchen with a washroom as well. So yeah, I know what that's all about.
But this is the first time I ever seen that. Did you have one of them cone guns when you were doing? Because I remember you were struggling in times. Did you have one of them cone guns that it's a cone? You stick the pipe down the pipe into this cone. It looks just like a 90-degree drill, air drill, electric drill. 90-degree one. Only it's
to expand it.
Yeah, expand it. That's what it does. It just sits there. It ticks like 6 or 8 times. Tick, zzz, tick, zzz, and it does that like 6, and it just enough that if you take that off and slip that other pipe in there, it shrinks back to its original shape. PEX goes back to its original shape no matter what. That's how PEX works. But I was just thinking, if you had one of them, when you were talking about struggling with it, I'll bet if you would have had one of those stretchers, what'd you call that? Expanders.
Right.
You would have found it. It's ridiculously easy. It's like silly, and it's really solid and really, it's unbelievable. It's wow.
Well,
and the crimpers are only like $100 now. When I got mine, they were like $400 when it was new, and now they're like $100.
Yeah.
Well, I use those shark bite pieces.
I've used them too. Yep, shark bites are really. That's how all my campers all put together with shark bites. Yep. Not one of them. Not fucking one of them has leaked. I put this clip. You put this clip. It has a clip on the outside, the ones I used, and then it just slipped onto the shark bite. Then you'd put this clip on the outside, and you just squeeze it until it clicked. And I'd swear every time that it wasn't going to leak, that it was going to leak, that it wasn't going to hold. I'd swear it. There's no way that's going to hold. From the first one I ever put on, and not one of them have ever leaked.
Well, mine were all the ones where they compress on and they press on and lock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, self lockers.
Yep.
Yep. I haven't had any problems with any of them.
Nope,
And
they're
we
really
froze
good.
twice last winter. We froze twice last winter,
Nice.
and no problem.
Yeah.
See, all mine are crimped on. They're crimped. I think I do have a couple shark bites down in there. I think because I've got a double 3/4 with a half coming out, and I think I did a shark bite on that.
Either one though is like fantastic for putting
Yeah.
it together.
Oh,
Shark
yeah.
bite or with either one you do. Both, I find them both just amazing as shit. You know.
Right. But I tell you what,
I just sat and
you
watched
left
him, you guys. It was so much fun watching him. I just like stood there and fucking on my hands and knees looking under the trailers. He's cutting these pipes, putting this all together. And he'd go in there and he'd fix it all, and then he'd light it up and it'd fucking be leaking down somewhere else. So he'd crawl all the way over there, cut the pipe out. You'd see him use that little stretcher, slip the pipes in there quick, and he'd wait for 6-7 minutes. Okay, turn it on. And none of them have ever leaked. That's that.
nice.
What'd you call that pipe? PEX?
Thanks. Yep.
PEX. That stuff's good. I'm impressed
Yep.
with that.
Like I said, we froze twice last year, and we found out where there was PVC still behind one of the showers.
Right.
So we had to put shutoffs on it. He's gonna rip that. My brother, it's in the bathroom where he's over there. He's gonna rip all that out and put in a walk-in shower. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a bathtub unit, fiberglass steel. So yeah, it had PVC behind it. Yeah.
It's so much cheaper than copper. And we always used to do copper and do all the soldering and stuff like that.
But they
Gosh,
make
this
up
is so
for
much
it in those
more
connectors, dude. Trust me, those connectors, they make up for it in those damn connectors.
Oh God, though, especially the shark bites.
Yeah.
I can buy bulk with the crimper. I can buy bulk real cheap.
I think I might have spent $350 on all the PEX piping to replace all the pipe in this house. I think I spent like $700 or $800 on just connectors.
Well, some of those connectors are like $30. It's like, oh crap! Like that T that I got, the 3/4 to 3/4 to half. They had like, God, maybe 2 of them there, and it was like $35 for that darn thing.
Holy
right?
shit.
It was, yes, but I could not find a 3/4 to 3/4 to half crimpable one. I would have had to go 3/4 to 3/4 to 3/4 and then run a little line and then just do a 3/4 to half reducer. And I didn't want to do that.
Well, I ran 1 inch all the way down the house, and then turn around and ran 1/2 inches off of it. So the only place I really used the brass ones, they're like $35 was where I had to join up the 1 inch to the 1 inch. You know what I'm saying?
If you do much more, buy the crimpers. It's well worth it for the money you will save on just getting those little rings to crimp on. Those things are cheap. Those are a few cents a piece. And then say a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch T on a shark bite, you'd pay what, $12 for that. You could get a bag of 10 of them for 14 of the other ones, of the crimp on ones.
Right. But I don't trust. I just, I was thinking, I don't really trust the crimp on ones because we do freeze. And if it freezes, I was thinking they would expand that clip.
It actually doesn't. They're pretty thick, and it'll actually expand out. I got it explained to me one time. It'll expand out quicker because the PEX is more flexible. It'll go to where the flex is, so it'll expand out more into the pipe than it will in there.
Right.
So they're actually, and I've actually had one shark bite fail, not bad, but it had a little spray coming out of it because of one of the little O-rings in there one time when it froze. And I've never had any of the crimps fail. It's possible. If you freeze hard enough, anything's possible.
Oh, right.
Right.
Freeze hard enough with full lines, it could probably even take that PEX.
Yeah, all it did, it split a few chunks in her house. It split like a couple of 8 and 12 foot sections.
Yeah.
It just split them. Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
But it was 20 below under full. It was 20 below under full pressure.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole system was up and running full pressure when she just walked out and then didn't come and say anything about being behind on her electric bill, because she knew I'd be mad. Yeah, Mal, I will be mad, but the fucking pipes wouldn't be fucking frozen.
Right.
So she got it
Yeah.
way worse afterwards,
Right.
Yeah,
Are you guys?
yeah, I would. Go
Are
on.
you any of you guys on natural gas?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. Be ready for your bill to be way higher this year.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it be? We're only the biggest natural gas producing country on the face of the fucking planet. So let's just ring the people for something we got gushing out of the fucking ground everywhere.
Right.
Yep.
They're
They're literally they're choking down the pipes. It makes no sense. And
It's
all it
all-
is for another way for a big corporation to get rich.
Yeah, it's all intentional. There's nothing organic about any of this. There's nothing. It's all every single bit of the struggle that we've been up against for the last year and a half or whatever has been totally 100% manufactured in every way, shape, and form.
Man manipulated, unnecessary.
And I'm just sitting here watching it. It's like, holy shit. But you know what? There's a lot of people seeing it now that didn't see it a long time ago, too.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you what, I got a lot of people. Not a few either. Not like, remember I told you every now and then I get someone, my sister call me or someone, and we'd say it. Hey, she came over to our side, got away from the dark side. Well, now it's getting to be a lot of people.
It's hitting people in the pocketbook.
Well, that's right. Because it's, you know what? They're paying over $3 a gallon for gas. So it ain't
$3.86 here.
Yeah, with $3.04.
Time for pie.
That's cheap to me. I take that back. There is a place in a bigger town. If I drive about 45 minutes to where I could get it for $3.66.
Yeah, but you know what? I rode with a guy up in the cities. We've built right off by the Hubert H. Hunkry Metrodome, this big fucking building, whatever it was. I don't know what it was. But we were building this big building and we'd come back and he'd go like 40, we're talking 2 hours on the road for me to get to and from work.
Burn the difference.
So it was 2 hours road time in the morning, going to work all day, 2 hours coming home. On the way home, he'd drive, I swear, 35, 40 miles out of his way to save a nickel on gas. And we were driving this Toyota car and it was like a 12-gallon gas tank. I'm like, dude, we're losing an hour and a half because it's 45 minutes one way, 45 minutes back. I said, and you're doing all that for 60 cents.
Yeah. And not to mention, you probably just burned an extra gallon of gas doing that, if not more.
Probably come out losing it. Probably come out on the losing end of the thing. I just was floored. Well, it's just like I want to get back at him. I said, I understand and I feel the same way, but I want to get home at night.
Right.
So then he finally quit doing that. And then I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, you get an app. He never did it, but I said, you get an app. And on your week to pay for gas, you find the cheapest one in our area. And whatever that cheapest one, I'll pay the difference between the two every week. It'd come out to fucking $3.50, $2.50, something, nothing,
Right. There's the town south of me. It's 20 miles instead of 15. They got it for $2.92 a gallon at the lowest station there.
Nice.
Yeah. And the town I normally go out of, Sullivan, it's $3.09 up there.
Yeah. Well, it's $3.19, the closest gas station to me, but I can get it for $3.04 if I run about 25 miles, and I'm over there all the time. So I've got gas stations over there I fill up at. I go by them gas stations.
I know
I fill it.
They talk about like the national average being $3.20, and I'm looking at it look at our pumps, and we're 60 cents higher. It's like, what the heck? Yeah. Can't you guys even try to hit the medium there?
Well, Trump said, them that left, they mess up everything they touch. You know,
Yep.
they do. They mess it all up.
Oh yeah. Well, and
Everything.
it. I don't understand how even say their global warming theory was right. I don't see how Saudi Arabia oil is going to make a difference, a bigger difference than oil we have here. It's like people are still using that fuel. They're still
But
buying the
that's kind
fuel.
of the.
They're just
It's
getting ticked.
it's that level of dipshittedness that tells you that this is all a farce. It's
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
level of dipshittedness I mean, there's no. Did you know that if Jackson would have went to school, he would have had to wear a mask when he went into class, but when he went to lunch, he didn't have to wear one, and when he went to Fayed, he didn't have to wear one. And when he went to recess, because Fayed's different, when he went to recess, he didn't have to wear one. So for like 2.5 hours of his day, he didn't have to wear a mask. Ming's running around playing, having fun with all these kids, but he had to
Right.
wear the masks walking in the door and sitting down in the room. And I'm like,
My niece.
Go ahead.
Nope. Oh, my niece, she's in high school, and she sat down with my sister and my brother-in-law, and she talked about it. And she wanted to get the shot, the one that they said was okay for the 17 and 18-year-olds or whatever. And she sat down with them, talked about it, and for probably over a month period, talked to her parents, talked to her doctor, and then thought about it, went back in, got more information, thought about it. She finally decided to get it because she did not want to wear a mask all year. And turned out she got the shot, and they're still making more a mask.
I feel so horrible for them people. I don't know what else. I tried and I tried and I tried to tell them thing. It's to the point, sir, in my life thing personally. It isn't that I gave up. I'm not giving up. Like I'm never going to quit fighting. End of story. That's out of the question.
Yep.
But I'm giving up on trying to explain this stuff to these people. It's like, you
Yep.
look at them and you'll say something. I've learned anymore. Just throw little tiny nuggets, just little tiny seeds. And just quick sprinkle a couple by them, and then let it go right away before anything happens and everything stays cool. And then let them. That's the only way you can do it, because you can't. They won't listen to anything you say. They won't listen. They just won't listen. You know.
Well, and see, actually, with her, I was impressed with her. She got the information. She went over it. She had her concerns, and it's just the fact of wearing the mask in school. She couldn't take that again for another year, and then they got her doing it again. That's what's irritating to me.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason she decided to take it.
Yeah.
What's that?
She'll ever get a booster.
Yeah.
She'll never get a shot again as long as she lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Because and it did. It frustrated her.
Oh, I bet it did.
What's that?
Yeah. I bet it did frustrate her.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I feel bad for her because she put in a lot of thought, and I'll give props to the doctor. The doctor gave her information and let her know that yes, there are side effects. No matter what you hear on the news, there are side effects to it. There can be. Yeah. And he said, but there's also side effects. We're not giving. He's like, this is just a decision you're going to have to make with your parents. So he didn't push anything. And that was pretty cool. Well, not a lot of doctors right now would do that.
Yeah, because actually that's what a doctor's job, and he was doing his job, and he's serious and wants to be a doctor and actually wants to help people get better.
Right.
And that's what you get when you deal with people like, you know what? And a lot of them I heard that a lot of them that are going they're starting clinics up.
There are, there's actually a couple private clinics opening up close to me of doctors that have left local hospitals.
Mm-hmm. I wonder too, do you think this is like a swing and where we go back to like I used to buy all my, buy it. Go ahead.
Sir. No, I was just going to comment. It's like, you're talking about the pendulum. When this pendulum swings back, it's going to swing back pretty quick. If that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Kirk.
No, I find it frustrating to try to deal with people and then and that's why, if you notice, when I'm in there, I'm always talking about everything but what's going on. It's because you can't. The ones that know, I don't have to talk to you guys about it, because you already know. when I think, I know you guys are pretty much right in the ballpark with me. You might be over here, there on the little thing here, something, but pretty much you're right where I am. So I don't. I'm getting away from trying to talk to these people and explain to them, and hey, you know, because some of them I'm really concerned for. My family, I'm concerned for them. Got a niece, her husband, and her 2 kids vaccinated. I got my favorite niece on the face of this earth. She's vaccinated. Just broke my heart. I thought, oh my God, let's just pray it was a placebo, you know.
My youngest boy and my mother.
Yeah, I know. That one, did you hear that one fucking virologist talk at that meeting? You're gonna die. You're all gonna, if you take this, you're gonna die. He said every time a virus comes along, you've weakened your immune system, so that he said it doesn't matter what virus comes along.
Right.
You know, he gets right down to it at the end. You know, he tells them this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to go, and you're just sitting up there making these stupid decisions.
See, and it comes down to, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I give my opinion, and that's all I can do, is give my opinion and try to point them in information that I've seen, and that's all you can do, because when it comes down, I can't force, you know, I'd be a hypocrite if I tried to force them into my views.
Right.
You know, so it's like,
because
make your own choice.
The whole issue here is them forcing you in their views. Right.
Yep.
So that isn't, that of all your tactics, that isn't, we can't use that one. We can't force them.
Yeah. And it's not that I'm being a, what do they call it, fence sitter or whatever on it. It's just a fight that I don't feel is, for one thing, winnable in any way. For another, beyond just trying to get the information out there, but it's also not a fight that I picked. You know, I choose my battles, and there's other battles that I'm in on it. And yes, this is a big deal, and kudos to those picking this as a battle. Cool. It's just not a battle I picked.
Yep. I bailed out. I quit talking. And anybody wants to talk about that, I kind of stay out of it now. I don't have nothing to say.
Me, all right now, I'm all about 2022 and 2024. Trying to get people to look at the bigger picture.
I just hope they do something. I mean, they got some serious repairs to make before you get to 2022 and 24. Something's going to have to break.
Yeah.
Because if we go back we go back into another election like we just went into, there's no, I will vote. I will never not. Don't get me wrong. But your vote will not matter one bit. They just proved it does not matter. In any way, all the way down to your local races, your vote doesn't matter. They just proved it 100% without a doubt, etched in stone.
The good news is we've got a lot of individual states taking action. A lot of it. There's like at least 30 states taking action within their own thing, and a lot of them are states that went blue, but their state senate and their state congress are red, and they're taking action. Now, Colorado, we're lost until something. Yeah, Colorado, we're lost until something gets done on a federal level, because they're sunk in so deep.
Senior, I live in Minnesota.
Okay. Yep. So you know what I mean. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here we're going to be blue. Everything.
Even here in this real blue area, we're vast majority of red. That's how obvious it was. Even in this really blue area, we're way more red than blue. He won Minnesota. There's no doubt. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, this last election, I still think he won Colorado, because this last election, counties that are nowhere close to Democrat went blue.
Yeah.
And people in Colorado are looking at and are like, what?
That's what happens when you live in an area like that, and then all of a sudden you hear on the news is saying one thing. Oh, he won this. But when you're on the ground and in that area, and you're in that area, and literally nobody you're bumping into has that view. Mm-hmm. Not one. It's like sooner, if it's a vast majority, sooner or later, I'm going to bump into somebody with these views that they're talking about. And I'll go in these areas and I hang out. No one. I mean, like
in my, oh, my bad.
Yep. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, in my county, you can't go anywhere and there's Trump signs everywhere. Literally, almost every house has a Trump sign. And they say that this county just barely went Trump by 53% to 47%.
Yeah, right.
There's not 40% of this county. There's maybe 10 people in this county that might have voted for, and we're not a
Right.
very populated county.
Yeah, right.
But those
Well,
little
even here,
things like that.
I mean, you guys know I'm near Rochester. So in Rochester, it's like that. It's deep blue there, boy. It's just
Yep.
it's silly. It's, you know, I just laugh. They're goofy.
We used to have four counties that pretty much controlled Colorado's vote. Everything was always 59%, 41% for the last probably 5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
because all these out-of-state people coming in, and everyone we're getting is liberal. And we used to be a pretty red state. And,
that's because they had the algorithm set. They had the algorithm. It's all preset.
Yep.
You hand them your paper, and
now
it's preset. Go ahead. Sorry.
And now we've got counties. Now we've got counties that are going blue that didn't have an uptick in population. It's the same population, but supposedly they're going blue. And that's, like you say, that algorithm. And they're trying to sneak it into some of these other counties that people may not ask questions. That's why that lady from up by Grand Junction, the one that they went after for going to Mike Lindell's symposium, and some of the other county elections officials, the Colorado State AG is going after them hard because they're asking the questions and they're making it public, saying there's no way we went blue, or even if they didn't go blue, there's no way, like our county, 47% of them voted for Joe Biden. No, it didn't happen. There's no possible way. Yeah, so they're sending up red flags, and our AG is going after them hard. Literally, they're trying to remove elected officials, which is completely illegal.
Wow. Right. That one lady that attended that thing, she's elected. She's elected.
Yeah. Yep. We elect our election officials here in Colorado.
Welcome back.
I presume they do in other states.
Huckleberry and Miriam.
Oh yeah, welcome back, guys. But yeah, it's getting. That's why I've been telling everybody for a couple of years now. Watch Colorado, because we are more split than what they say that we are, and people are fired up, and they forget. In 2010, the eastern part of Colorado tried to, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, or if it even really made much federal news, but we tried to secede from Colorado. We tried to make our own state. We weren't too creative. We're going to call ourselves North Colorado, but we were going through it. They had the elections on it and everything, but the federal government stepped in and shut it down and said it was unconstitutional under Obama. So it's not a new thing. That these red areas are tired of the Front Range and they're trying to get away from it. So, and we even looked into joining Wyoming. We looked into and see the part of this creation of our own state. It was going to include a chunk of Nebraska, a chunk of Kansas, and us on the Eastern Plains. And it was going to be a fairly good sized state, actually, a very low populated but good sized state if we created it, because it was going to take chunks of several states. Well, they said we couldn't do it on the federal side. And so we even looked into joining Wyoming. Well, if we joined Wyoming, to get it done right, they would have to take Fort Collins and Greeley. Fort Collins wouldn't have been bad, but Greeley is so blue and has so many people, it would have completely changed Wyoming's vote. Oh, wow. So Wyoming's like, screw that. It's
right.
Yeah. Just with Fort Collins and Greeley, it would have almost doubled Wyoming's population, just with those two cities.
All right.
And it would have changed their vote. and they didn't want any part of that. They were okay with having us out here, but land connection wise, they would have had to take more area, or there would have been a little tiny strip connecting us to the rest of Wyoming. So it wouldn't have worked out very well.
Right. Well, I tell you, man, things are going to change.
Oh yeah. We got a person spamming. But anyways, guys, I hate to run on you, but where'd Cart go?
Oh, he probably hit the wrong button. He'll be back in a minute. Wait till he comes
Right
back.
on.
But I'm
he's
so
gonna be
grateful that I live in Missouri.
Oh, I bet. Because you guys, they're protecting, because they're now officially a Second Amendment sanctuary, correct?
Correct. And we have, we have voter ID. You have to show an ID to vote. You have to be a resident. You know what I'm saying? We didn't use the machines.
Right. Well, have you ever seen those places where they go like into the cities and they ask like people from these minority groups and everything? They ask them, what do you think is voter ID racist? Because a lot of people now say that you guys don't have access or don't know how to work the computer to get an ID and everything. And they're flat out coming out. They're like, who are these racist people saying this? It's like, well, it's the left. They're saying that, yeah.
They're saying you're too stupid to get an ID.
Yep.
You're too stupid to use the internet.
Yep.
You can't read. You don't know. You can't sign your name. The IDs are free for a state ID. I think it's like, it might be like $5 or $9 or something like that.
And every one of them had an ID with them.
Right. Every one of them's got a bank account, a driver's license, and a cell phone.
Yep. And like the ones they were asking from New York, they said, well, yeah, to even walk around New York, you have to have an ID with you to do anything, to get on a bus or anything.
Try buying alcohol.
Yeah. Yep.
Or
cigarettes now. Yeah. I've got a lot of gray hair going these days. I mean, I started going gray at like, my mid-20s. So I've got a lot of gray hair now. And I still get ID'd. And if I grow my beard out, it's solid gray and I get ID'd.
Yeah, my friend, it does say it must get bad enough to wake the saints. Whoever the hell they are. I hope they wake the fuck up real soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man. So yeah, it's we know it. We got to go through hell to get to heaven.
Yeah, but well, I'm with you on a lot of that. I don't think we'll get that bad. We're gonna see some, low points, but I don't think we're ever gonna get to the point where you got people flat out, mugging people for food or anything like that. But it's good to be prepared just in case.
Right. We don't know what form it's going to take. We don't know what exactly which positions are going to be, but you're really in a bad, vulnerable spot when you're talking about you're in these suburbs and these highly populated areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And even if things don't go bad, we all need to become more self-sufficient anyways.
Right.
I mean, whether it's bad or not, we've come to rely on too much that, we've got to be able to get back to the basics.
Right. You grow your garden, raise your animals, and, have a trade or a way to, create value.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And that's where I think getting back to that trade equity type of
Yep.
thing is a way better route to go, because then these corporate bigwigs aren't going to have a pot to piss in if we got back to something like that.
Right.
Maybe
So,
not quite that far, Huck, hopefully.
well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? We have better
Yeah, to
technology
go back
now,
how we do. Yeah,
but we're
yeah.
still talking about, a trade, being self-sufficient, raising your food, growing your food.
Oh, right. Okay,
Yeah.
I get what you guys mean. Yeah, that definitely. Yeah, raise as much of your own food. And the funny thing is that goes back to farmers unions. A lot of these laws that have been passed in cities that won't allow people to like grow their own gardens and everything, or they can only have small gardens and everything. It can only take up so much of their yard and stuff like that, because a lot of people at one time were starting to plant their entire backyards in gardens and producing a lot of their own food. And a lot of these were special interest groups that had to do with farmers unions going in and getting codes changed to where these people couldn't do it anymore or collect water and stuff like that.
Right.
It's because that hurts their bottom line. If a lot of people are raising their own food, they're not selling as much.
Yeah,
They're
they're in
not relied on.
competition. Right. They're in competition when you can get it with the neighbors right down the road, right down the street, and Johnny and his wife are growing some of the most best vegetables. You're going to go there.
Look, when we had a crap load of small farmers everywhere, and they had farmers markets on every corner. And a lot
Yeah.
of those farmers markets got shut down by these corporate farms.
Yep.
I mean, they're starting to come back, but there's still a lot of battles because a lot of these corporations are in it together too. And anybody that tells me the opposite, they're full of it, because like there was a farmers market at a Walmart in a town close by me. They had leased part of their the Walmart's parking lot. Well, there was some big thing that they signed some contract with a distribution company of different foods and stuff like that. And as soon as that went through, and it was a lucrative deal for Walmart, that to where they were getting their vegetables and stuff. As soon as that went through, they took away the lease for that farmers market.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no definitive proof there, but to me, that tells me that there was some backroom deals going on. Okay, if you guys kick them out here, we'll sign this contract to be exclusively with you guys. Yeah,
Right. Wow.
it's just, this corporate, whatever the heck we got going on now is insane. They've got too much control over too many politicians.
Yep. And it's just a matter of hey, that's what I was saying. There's going to be a lot of things changing. There's going to be a lot of new things happening. There's going to be people like us that are already working on solutions. Okay. Because not everybody just sits around and bitches about stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes
Some of
people
us,
get up and
yeah,
do shit.
some of us aren't able to be on the online 24/7. Some of us are out there doing and buying and yeah, yeah.
Doing things.
That's a lot of the reason. Yeah, that's a lot of the reason why I took on as much as I have and everything, just to get different things, get myself and people around me situated to where whatever happens, happens and it won't affect us as bad.
Yes, you did, Huckleberry. You missed pie. I was like, don't go nowhere. I got pie. And you left. I was like, shit, this is pie time.
Huckleberry, come up here and talk to Emerald so I can go to bed.
I only got about 10 minutes here, guys. So, right.
Um,
So, yeah, we're going to be
yeah,
closing down here in a minute. But
I
yeah,
gotta
no
crash
shit.
too.
But yeah, now I've got a freezer half full of green beans, okra, and the stuff I grew out of the garden. I've got peppers drying, I got basil drying, I got oregano drying. You know what I'm saying? I got, you know,
Nice.
uh, all that stuff. I didn't make any pickles this year. I gave most of my the ones I didn't eat and use, the cucumbers. I gave a lot of those away, which is great. They got eaten, and I got several sitting there going to seed.
Right.
So yeah, we're
Oh, I tell you what, this grain grinder I'm looking at, it's got different heads that you can put on it, and one of them is for even doing pastes for like uh, pepper pastes and stuff like that. You could do peppers that are dehydrated but still have a little bit of moisture in them and get the paste. They've got heads that where you can do like cinnamon powder or like your oregano if you try it. You could do like make it into a powder. It's really cool actually. Main reason is for wheat and corn for flour and stuff like that, and just the health benefits alone is one of the reasons I'm getting it, so you don't have the mass produced bread and flour.
right, right, right. Now I thought about
Because
that too because I wanted to get one as well, a mill, so I could mill down. I can just buy wheat or
right,
any of that stuff and just grind it down myself and make flour.
right, and
It's a lot
and a
cheaper
lot
to
of
buy
what
100 pounds of wheat.
right, yeah, and it does not take much electricity to grind it.
Right.
And they've got hand crank grinders that you can get for under $100.
Yeah, that's a lot of cranking, though.
Yeah, that's a lot of crank.
That's a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
cranking.
why that's why I
I,
want to get one of the bigger electric ones.
oh no, no, no! I was thinking about this too. You could get the metal ones, the hand crank
Hey,
ones,
Shaw.
and then hook it up to a drill.
All right.
You put a drill on it,
Well, and if you had an extra motor lying around, you could also take the handle off, rig a pulley up on it,
or you take a
and
drill and you just put a socket on the back of it where the handle
just run it.
attaches.
Yep.
Yep, just grind that son of a bitch up.
Right. How is Shaw this evening?
Hey, Colonel Shaw, salute.
But
Good
yeah, because
morning.
well, and a lot of people don't realize it, but to get the shelf life of the flour that you buy in the store, there's a lot of the nutritional values that are pulled out of it
It's
to get the
called
shelf life
bleaching.
longer. Yeah.
They, they
So,
bleach.
yep. And whole grain as they sell it, like whole grain flour and whole grain wheat as they sell it, is not as healthy for you as they make it sound like it's the old school how they used to do it. No, it's not. They just leave a lot of the husks and stuff in it. And actually those husks, even though they won't really hurt you, there's certain things that'll like uh reduce certain things in your body and everything. It's not like grandma used to make type of wheat bread. It's not that type. So they kind of, I don't know, it's a lot of it's marketing scams that when you're buying that sorry, I was reading chat. But when you're buying some of that healthy stuff that's so-called healthy and everything, if it's mass produced, the odds are it's not terribly healthy.
Right. That enriched, bleached,
Mm-hmm.
hydrogenated, all that shit.
Right.
It's all chemical treatment.
Yep. Yep. And if you could go down and buy wheat and do your own pure grain flour, yeah, you're going to be a lot healthier.
Right. Yeah, I did see that. Can't really see it though. It's all encrusted. They didn't clean it up very well or much. Yeah, it's all crusty, crusted up.
Huh. I haven't. Is this a recent find?
Yeah, yeah, I saw
Nice.
that in the last couple of weeks or something like that. There was a big uh, article on it I seen.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Well, it makes sense. There's a lot of fighting over Jerusalem. So there was, and when the Templars were driven out for the last time, I mean, a lot of them fell during that. They were outnumbered and didn't get as much support from Europe as they were used to. So,
Oh wow, there's only two or three of them in the world. So
hey,
AZ.
right, Az. I've got some recipes about like grinding your own, and actually some of them use some of the recipes you grind your own millet and other things with it too. And there's some old school recipes that about grinding your own grains and stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, and there's different like whole grains that there's oats and so there's just basically a mixing of grinding per se. And you grind different grains, put it in, and it makes supposedly the better bread.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know you used to put
Cool
bone
stuff.
meal and all kinds of different stuff in bread. You know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of herbs too. I mean, a lot of people think it was just dull bread and everything. No, there was a lot of herbs put in bread back then.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and a lot of these recipes that that I've been finding and stuff like that are things from like during the settler times and stuff like that. And a lot of them have different herbs that they grew themselves that they put in the bread with it, and it sounds pretty good. Onion and onion greens were popular in bread.
Oh really?
The greens,
Like
yeah, the types,
chives?
the green. Yes, yeah, yep.
Oh wow. I know they make pumpkin bread, zucchini bread, all that stuff. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, the girls, my mom and my sisters, they still grow zucchini and zucchini bread, and like you say, pumpkins for pumpkin bread, and they still make it out of zucchinis or the pumpkins,
Bananas,
not a
banana
pumpkin
bread.
mix. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
lots of banana bread
yeah.
with the walnuts in it. Yep.
Right. Talking about that, I was talking to my mom the other day. She's got a wheelbarrow full of black walnut seed, or yeah, black walnuts
Nice.
for me, and I'm gonna take and I'm gonna try and start a walnut grove.
Good money in it. Walnuts are friggin' expensive right now.
Well, I want to grow. I want to turn them. I want to use them as seeds and start
Right.
growing just a shitload of walnut trees.
Nice.
I want to make a whole grove of walnut trees.
Nice.
I want to line our driveways with them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know I shouldn't do that because, like, we're gonna have these walnuts falling on the cars and shit. So
Gonna be
I'm
driving them
thinking,
over.
right, wherever we're going, but we want to be able to harvest them too. So
Be easier to pick them that way right off the road too.
correct. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, we won't put them in the parking areas, just along the driveways as they're coming up. So maybe we
Oh,
can dodge them,
yeah.
right?
Nice, Huckleberry. There's not a lot of trees, period, where I'm at.
But the idea
The
is
area,
that we start populating the property with more black walnut trees. You know what I'm saying? As they grow, get bigger.
yeah.
We've got several around here that we did get nuts from this year. Um, but they're look like they've been cleaned out on the harvesting. You know what I'm saying? They were taken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of old black walnut trees around here.
We've got a lot of places that are close to here of wild cherry trees. And I tell you what, they are good cherries. A lot of people go by and pick them because they're on like that. There's several people that are still the smaller farmers. Well, they just let the trees grow, and they were probably planted, years ago, but then they just kept coming up, and they just let whoever go pick whatever they want to, and people from the community, they take care of the area, keep it clean, and stuff like that. So I'm sure if people started destroying it, they would stop allowing it. But yeah, you can just go in and fill whatever you want to full of them,
Oh wow,
and
with the cherries.
they're good cherries. Well, here in I've got 2 lots, and everybody thought I was crazy, but I went for the edible yard. So almost everything grows something in my yard. Even some of the bushes that look decorative, they're like goji berries and blueberries, but they still kind of look decorative. And then I've got a 3-in-1 apple, a 3-in-1 cherry, or no, the 5-in-1 apple, 3-in-1 cherry, 2-in-1 peach, a 3-in-1 plum, and then a 3-in-1 pear tree. So they're the ones. They're not like a lot of people think that you manipulate the DNA of it. No, they're just how they work. They just splice a branch off of one into another one.
Right, right. So that they can, yeah, right. So,
Yeah. All
but yeah, I
naturally
did that
done.
with apples, and what I came down to, I started doing that. I was going to do that with apple trees,
Mm-hmm.
and so I could have multiple kinds of apples. But what I've decided, what boiled down, is I just started, plant 3 trees together.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Plant a black cherry tree, and then 6 inches away, plant the Bing, and then 6 inches away, plant the Tulare. You know what I'm saying?
And yep. And see, my problem was just being in town on the lot. I didn't have the space. If I can get like the acreage, oh yeah, I'm gonna have half an acre or better set up to fruit trees.
Well, that's why I
I
turned the
would.
front yard into. I got 2 acres out there, and I planted apples and plums and cherries and peaches, pear. Um, you know what I'm saying? I got a
Nice.
couple kinds of apples, and I was after cherry trees, and I got like 3 of them out there. The black cherry tree, it grew pretty good the first year, and then the second year, it just acted like it died. But it didn't die all the way, so I'm hopeful it'll come back next year. And it did have a spur growth off the base of it as well. So I know the
Yep.
roots are still alive, at least a portion of them. And so hopefully it comes back. But I've got 2 Tulare cherry trees out there. I couldn't find any more black cherries. So, um,
Nice.
but yeah, I'm They didn't have any cherry trees available this year whatsoever, except for those Tulars. And
And see, right now, I've actually got 2 plum trees because I bought that second 3-in-1 because I thought the first one I planted died.
uh,
And this year and I cut it down. This year it took off and it's actually bigger than the other one because apparently the roots are still alive. So it's not
mhm.
going to be a 3-in-1. It's going to be whatever the base plant was, whatever type it was. But it's still, yeah, yeah. So I know what you mean about the root system not dying because apparently if it's still strong, it can take off.
Yep, yep, it can still take off. Now, we didn't get any fruit off of any of the trees anywhere around here, because we had that late freeze and it took it all out. Not a
Yeah.
single peach, not a cherry, not a plum, not an apple, and the trees are still young, so wasn't real upset about it because they're still growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They need to get a little bit older before they can really start producing. But still, it would have been nice to have, something. You know what I'm saying? Been like, I'd
Yep.
like to get
Well,
a couple
even
of plums, peaches.
Yep. Even my blueberries didn't even produce because of that late freeze. I
Mhm.
mean, it didn't kill any of the plants or the trees. It was hard on them, but every
Yeah.
bud, it it just it never budded out again at all.
Nope, nope. All four of my blueberry bushes I was lucky to keep them alive.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do next year. But yeah, it was rough.
I got
Um,
this one. It's called a Josta berry. It's apparently really nutritional. It's got like major high vitamin C and stuff in it. And
uh,
I got it because I was reading about it. And it's supposed to be a tropical plant. That thing is growing quicker and doing better than any of the stuff that's supposed to be more of a northern climate plant. It's just loving this soil here for some reason. And
oh,
the cold
wow.
winters aren't bugging it. And it
Nice.
dies off and comes back, like where it's native from, it stays green year round. But here it dies off during the winter and then comes back, but it grows good and everything. And it's the only thing that makes it good with the little buds and everything through the winter. So it's a durable little plant. So if you ever get a chance to look into it, they're hard to find though. I had to order this plant online, took a risk, but got it here okay. And it's doing good, but it's called a Josta berry. And then
Okay.
those goji berries are really good too. You
Yep.
can make teas even out of the leaves. People make tea out of it, and the
Yep.
goji berries and the leaves are high, like way high in antioxidants.
Like grape leaves. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Oh,
got a
my
mulberry
grapes.
tree. I got a mulberry tree that survived in a pot I thought was dead. And it started growing before, and it's still got a little green on it right now. I got to plant it this fall.
Nice. My
Got a mulberry
my
tree,
sis
so that'll be cool.
my sister's yard. They've got a like the equivalent of like 4 lots here. It's a massive house and a massive yard. Well, in this one section, you cannot park a vehicle there because of their mulberry trees.
Right. Right. You don't want to park over there. Mm.
Nope. A little
Right.
bit of wind and you got polka dots everywhere, or else the birds will eat it and then they poop that color all over the place.
Right. And it will stain your paint. Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, especially if you got a lighter colored paint. Oh, it's nasty on it.
Yeah. It's bad. It'll fade out over time, but
Yeah, but it'll leave it. You'll tell it was there.
yeah. Yeah, that white Camaro that you parked underneath the mulberry tree. Why'd you park there? Now you have a purple
Polka
polka
dot.
dot. Now you
Yeah.
have a purple polka dot Camaro.
Uh, you're talking about grapes. Most of my grapes did not make it through. I had to replace all my grape plants except for one this year after that freeze. So I guess I fibbed on that about everything making it through because the grapes did not do well. And I had everything mulched because we knew it was coming up. I didn't wrap them. I didn't think it was going to get as bad as it did. But I mulched with chopped straw around all the root systems, prepared for that. But there's some of the things I should have wrapped with plastic and I didn't.
Right. Well, I don't think it would have made a difference. I planted the garden early and figured I'd be okay. Um, and quite a bit of it came through because there were seeds in the ground, but um, I had to replant all the tomatoes and stuff like that because they had started already.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So was yours about mid-spring?
It was late April. It was about mid-April. Yeah,
So
and
yeah, early to
no, like
mid-spring.
2-3 inches. Yeah,
See, and we barely even got a skiff of snow. We just got nasty cold wind, and it lasted for several days. And God, it was awful on everything.
I
I've
think
got a
I got it
Russian.
on video, dude. I think I have it on the Wizard of Oz channel. It was in April this year. Um, it was really pretty
Yep.
because all the blossoms and stuff on the trees and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit,
Well,
yeah.
it was bad enough wind chill that the tree, because we get most of our wind from the north and the west, and this one came from the north. I've got a Russian olive that is on the north. It killed half of that tree because it was all budding out, leafing out, and everything. And that tree just got really sick looking. I had them come look at it. One of the whatever they're called, the tree guys, the actual guys that are actually trained with trees. I can't remember what the scientific name. Anyways, the he came and looked at it and he said that freeze took out a lot of trees this year.
So hopefully next year we have bounty crop for the fruits because I've got like 10, 12 peach trees out there. You know, it's like, yeah. Plus, we got the wild ones that are all around the garden area. And I still got that big one in the garden. So,
As long as the thuja pine trees that I planted this year keep outgrowing all the fruits, I should be safe from, because those pine trees can handle that cold wind and stuff. So in the real cold, so they'll block a lot of it for the fruit trees and stuff. So as long as those keep outgrowing them and stay taller than all the fruit trees and stuff, I should be good from now
right.
on.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Well, guys, it's been a great night. I really appreciate everybody showing up. Colonel Shaw, God bless you, soldier. Nightingale,
Take care, everyone.
Huckleberry, Kimmy, everybody. God bless you all. Dream well, Patriots. And we'll see you again here tomorrow night. Remember, we're going to win this stuff. All you got to do is keep faith and refuse to comply with their bullshit. Don't fall for their tricks. Don't be scared of their bullshit. And walk strong in faith. Believe in God. Jesus Christ is a glorious Savior. So God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow night.